Hello, beautiful souls.
And welcome back to my channel. But if this is your very first time on my channel, welcome. I am Dr. Montana Blau. Most people just call me Dr. MB. This reading is inspired by our future predictions for July 2025 and also includes a timestamp all sign horoscope overview as well as individualized tarot card readings for each zodiac. In a moment, we'll go over each card and crystal selection, but I wanted to invite you to ultra personalize your experience by watching your sun, moon, Venus, and rising sign after your pick a card reading or chime in on the energy of the person involved in your situation. Here's why. Your sun sign may be best for life path, purpose, and career, while the moon represents your feelings, relationships, and emotions of others. Your Venus sign for romance, values of self-worth, and aesthetic taste in marriage or relationships that could be important, as well as your persons. And your rising sign is how others may see you, but also helpful in navigating along your journey. Now, the timestamps will be in the description box or also check the pinned comment. For those of you listening in from the podcast or may have visual impairments, I'll give a description of each crystal and the card selection to help. We'll go ahead and get started, but at any moment, if you want to jump ahead, your timestamps are listed. After the description, you'll have a moment of privacy and a little music to make your selections. Let's get started. Now, group 1, you guys have the pink amethyst. The appearance is soft pink to lavender tone with milky inclusions, and the energetic vibe is gentle, soothing, and heart-centered. It promotes emotional healing, love, and calm energy while offering spiritual protection. Your card selection is the Astro Star Codes Oracle. Group 2, you guys have tourmaline quartz. Its appearance is clear to milky quartz with black tourmaline inclusions, needle-like strands. The energetic vibe is protective and grounding. It combines the amplifying power of quartz with the shielding energy of black tourmaline, perfect for warding off negative energy. And your card selection is the Enchanted Water Oracle. Group 3, you guys have Ocean Jasper. Its appearance is black and white orbs, as well as green, yellow, and cream. Your energetic vibe is nurturing, joyful, and uplifting. It encourages positivity, emotional balance, and connection to the earth's soothing energies. Now, the Jasper, Zebra Jasper for Group 4, has a striped pattern resembling zebra prints. The energetic vibe is grounding, balancing, and motivating. Encouraging harmony, helps overcome apathy, and brings physical and mental energy into alignment. My apologies, Group 3. Your card selection is the Soul Journeys Lessons cards. And Group 4, your card selection is from the Reflections Oracle deck. Now, I'll give you a moment of privacy to look over the selection and go with your vibe. Don't overthink it. And if you're pulled to more than one section, just watch all of them. It happens. Group 1, let's go ahead and get started with your reading. I do hope all is well. And thank you guys for tuning in. Check your Venus signs, Group 1. That is the first card that we got out for you, as well as your North Node. North Node may be very important, especially if you guys have, like Sagittarius, Gemini, Cancer, anything connected to Mercury. There are so many retrogrades going on in the month of July, and I'm going to tell you all about them in the horoscope overview. It's a separate timestamp from the zodiac readings, because the zodiac readings we're going to have tarot cards just like your pick a card. So check that out, and also your Venus sign. All right, so your first card out is Aquarius and the number 11. I love that the number 11 is connected to not only November, okay, but the star and the Aquarius. It talks about collaborations. So Group 1, I feel with the pink amethyst, this could be abundance and or relationships. Pink and like the rose quartz vibe kind of revolves around love, which may be significant during Cancer season. A lot of the signs I saw had openings in that area. Others of you may thrive in creative projects. So I said abundance, your creative projects or career, but you have collaborate. So there may be some collaborations. If it's not as specific and it's like a general message. Sometimes collaborate just means to be flexible, to use all aspects of the elements, like the head over heart situations, making sure we balance those out. Because to me, Aquarius is like the air of water. So it's kind of like thought and feelings. But at the same time, Aquarius is sometimes very investigative, which is important because with those retrogrades going in Mercury, Uranus, Saturn, it may be very important to just like cross your T's and dot your I's, as well as being very punctual, as well as kind of like connected when you're collaborating with others. Okay. But there very well may be a collaboration for some of you guys with an Aries, and others of you, there's Mercury. So double downing on your messages, how you communicate, or something just along the lines of communication and your focus. I know Mercury is also connected to our magician, and it is very important for our magician to not get confused or stir up chaos by, toning it down. Now, Uranus is at the bottom of the deck, which talks about changes, and there will be unexpected changes, and some of you long overdue necessary changes in relationships or in your personal life. I did see that in your zodiacs. I knew this was going to come back out. I was so right. So we're focusing on abundance for a lot of you guys. I threw in love and relationships because, hey, collaborating is collaborating. But group 1, you have abundance coming out with Aquarius, and I think that is super cool. And the number 23. So Venus is in the mix. Now, Chiron is also included in this horoscope reading. So make sure you guys take a look at that. It does talk about healing. And thankfully for some of you guys, you're going to be able to heal long overdue situations. And I know that there are some transits that have lasted and will last for the next 7 to 8 years. So it's kind of like important. And I thought that it was super cool that July being the 7th month, there's actually a transit, I believe, on July 7th that lasts for 7 to 8 years. So it gets crazy. I thought it was cool. We'll take one more and then we'll get started with any tarot messages that are for you. It was Chiron. Okay. I'm getting better at this. We also have roots. So for some, it may include family. We have Ascension, which is entrance. And we also have North Node future. And when I'm not even going to lie. I was going to say when I see those words together, but it's also an intuitive feeling. For some of you guys, it does talk about staying grounded. If you're in pursuit of what's best, as far as you're moving forward or getting to your abundance, the highest aspect of yourself that benefits your future, your North Node, your ascendant sign, look at those in the timestamps. But it also just tells me a lot about the opportunities you'll have to start foundations and get rooted, as well as kind of either break away from or resolve deep-rooted issues that may be like family oriented. Okay. And we'll get some tarot cards. All right, group 1. I went with the Starseed Oracle. They said, pick us, and I went with it. Let's see what we have first. You have Empathic Starseed, so that's why the cards chose you. It talks about energetic sovereignty, and absorbing what's not yours. I felt this, especially when the Roots card came out with the Ascending and the North Node. So for some of you, this picture kind of like gives the vibe of those of you that may have incarnated in search of or just on a journey to help. So it's like you could have been in another dimension, karmic energy fulfilled, right? No problem in the world. But family members, lovers, or just overall concern for what's going on the planet led you to come back and be of assistance, right? That doesn't always work out the way we planned, especially with the issue of not remembering everything, why you came, or where you end up. The benefit of this is a shift and an opportunity to remember, as well as to shed those skin and break away from the things that may have connected to you through your living experience, because it talks about being energetic sovereign. And that just means cutting cords and not really being tied into the karma that is of this dimension, right? At the bottom of the deck, we have the golden children, inner child, tenderness, innocence, and rare gifts. So that tells me that you guys are probably a lot different from those in your family. I'm going to accept this card for you. A lot different. And for that reason, I feel that there's a lot of emotional things that come along with that, right? When we have experiences or people around us that just differ from our energy, our goals, our mission, and our purpose. And it's time now for you to collaborate with spirit, your guides, your higher self, to heal these issues and see how they came right next to each other. Healing old issues, right? Getting your spark and your tenderness back, because for some of you, the tenderness and the spark is connected to your gifts, and those gifts are what is going to bring you the abundance. Those gifts are what make you the starseed in general, and I think that is super dope. Now, you also have light worker starseed. So for some of you, empaths for sure. For others of you, serve the world by being you. So it's like there's a part of you that may feel some suffering or some discomfort from your experience. And then there's another part of you that almost feels like obligated, very devoted and passionate about a particular purpose, even if you haven't figured out 100% like what that is. So light workers, serving the world and being you, that will bring you abundance. Now, what's going to help with your healing for some of you guys is coming into the acceptance as well as the awareness that you are part of a larger star family. You're part of a team of souls, and it asks you to call in for support. So you'll notice that while you're healing and breaking away from genetic, like family issues or 3D experiences, you're going to be coming into connection with more multifaceted, unique people like yourself. And that's why Spirit is asking you to let yourself be seen. That is the star. Even if you're not an Aquarius, the star is to shine and the star is to be seen. Even though with the Jupiter card and abundance, the double mission card has like this behind the scenes thing, it tells me that while you're healing and doing the work, there's a lot going on behind the scenes for you. But in addition to that, maybe some of you have played it small. You didn't really shine your light for whatever reason, maybe for the support of others. Maybe it's your turn to get out of the back, and move into the front, to get into the limelight some. If you're not really into the glitz and the glam and shining, right? Your mission still talks about an activation of Earth, an energetic activation. It also talks about trusting where you are being led. So you can feel pulled. Remember, we spoke on the devotion, the loyalty, and the passion to just do something, on the planet. But trying to figure out exactly how to do that and like what it is specifically, you're being led. So I would suggest to meditate, trust your intuition, and keep things out of your environment, your energy, your psychological markup that aren't beneficial to your abundance, your creative expression, or your emotions. I think that's very important for you guys. Messages for Spirit regarding a present situation, or messages from Spirit, should I say. Oh, almost. Okay. Breath of the cosmos, my will to thy will, micromanaging the universe. I love this card because the breath of the cosmos is connected to the child of the cosmos. So it's saying that I'm speaking to a group of people that are aware that they have a strong connection to source, some sort of spiritual or religious background. It's like, that you are a gift and a soul that is from a much greater, collective. But this life may not be it may not have been just like perfectly in alignment with your initial mission or what you perceived. You could have had some challenges and obstacles, let me say that. And for that reason, may have trust issues or could have even gone off path slightly, in the past, where now we have a sense of urgency or even anxiety toward getting to the goal line. If this is in a relationship, career, or just overall, the micromanaging of the universe just says that you could be working a little bit too hard or putting like too much into something that you're trying to manifest. And this is a confirmation that I heard you, we got you. And there's possibly a need to lighten up, let go a little bit, and have a little bit more trust. Okay. For those of you that are manifesting, see, look, I knew it. It says manifestation, creative accountability, and artist. So that sounds like I could have some perfectionists, or maybe you're dealing with a person that just makes you crazy. Kind of like, the star in a relationship is someone that you just have these goo eyes for, and they just do something. It's kind of like my kid watches the Ladybug show, and her and this little cat superhero guy. Now, when they're in normal street clothes, she can't even breathe when this little boy comes around. She's like so crazy about him. And it just reminds me of like twin flames or these people that have strong soul or karmic connections. It's inevitable. It happens, and they just do something to you. So if there's like some star-crossed kind of love going on, because peony roots are also used for like home blessing and cleansing, there's a need to kind of like go with the flow of life and understand that your abundance comes in seeing you as that star as well. And so when they're in uniform and like super go mode, he is the one that's crazy about her. But when they don't have on their uniforms and they're pretend they don't know who each other is. Is that right? They don't know who each other is when they have on their superhero gear. But when they take it off, it's like they know each other and she's just crazy about him. He's not mean to her. He's cool. But, she's just like, she can't think straight, But when she has a uniform on and they're in super go mode or whatever, it's him that's after her and she could care less. And that's kind of how the manifestations work for whatever it is that you're trying to get. It's like when it doesn't make us crazy, and give us the Google eyes is exactly when it comes in. So I thought that was pretty neat. And especially for my artists and my creatives, we're not going to overthink it. All right. And the universe said, let me help some lighten up, loosen up. So one more card. We have we have trust the timing. Trust the wave you came in on. Time is not running out. That is very important, and I don't care who you are. And I love this message. I feel that from the visual, it gives a mixed energy of, again, that air and water, but it also includes earth. And the only thing that I don't see is red or fire, which says that if you're taking accountability and know that in certain areas you feel, because I won't even say know that, you feel that you could have done this, you could have done that, there may have been some procrastination, or especially in relationships, child, because I don't see any fire here. So if you're feeling like, it's something that you're running out of time on, or maybe it's just too late, here is Spirit once again saying that it's not true. Back up a little bit. We got this. Okay. And so I super love that for you, group 1. Now I'll give you an opportunity, because I think that it helps, to kind of look over your card selection and see if you get anything extra out of the cards. And I'll see you again in your zodiac reading. Hello, group 2. We are going to get started with your guys' reading and this beautiful crystal. I like the description when it was like, it's stem like tourmaline in the extra powerful quartz crystal. So fancy. And we're going to start with your oracle cards, which are again from the Enchanted Waters Oracle. And I'm not going to lie, one of my favorites because of how they're made. It's like they have very vivid, beautiful colors, and then it fades to this little white color at the bottom that just goes perfectly with my table. And I am not surprised. What's this card on the bottom of the deck? Like before I start shuffling, and I'm going to see what this is too in a second. I love the horse, the water, and the sun. Okay. I love the direction as well because the horse is facing forward or moving forward and coming out of the water. And usually when we come out of the water, we have been healed, revamped, relieved. It also gives like this sense of freedom, but he isn't running or she. It's just like enjoying, the cleansing. And I like the sunset or sunrise in the background, given the timing. So it's like 12, noon. And before it gets too hot, the 12 connected to the hangman. If you have been stuck in any areas of your life, just consider yourself unstuck. And I know that came up for Capricorn in your horoscope reading. A lot of the signs are going to be favorably affected by, like, we have 3 or 4 retrogrades happening in July. So maybe checking your sun, moon, or Venus sign or rising sign will give you that extra confirmation. But for you, group 2, you have golden waves of freedom and the number 10. 10s are important because they talk about completions that are well earned. I'm talking about long time, lifetime, this decade, this year, whatever has been completed. And it also comes with a new beginning. So before we even get into the anxiety of a new beginning or go too deep into what we just went through, it's just this middle point of feeling good. Horses always remind me of the chariot. The chariot is a green light. Green lights mean yes. Okay. But it says, I embrace the boundless freedom of my spirit, galloping with joy through life's golden moments. And so I absolutely love that. It reminds me of like the golden healer. I don't know. I've just been learning a lot about gold. And because I used to be like a silver girl. And I like what I'm learning. So you may be learning some stuff too in the near future. So here is some more water. This is telling me, hey, look at the balance. You see that? I don't just be flabbing for nothing. We were talking about gold. I brought up silver. Here's the moon. Same beach. It looks like different animals. Let's see why. You have the number 33, just like the completion in the number 10. 33 is about mastery, and it's amplified threes, which gives it more energy. It's called Cold Moon Bay Shadows, and then by shedding light of my shadows, I unveil and cherish the hidden truths of my being. So this is just like total authenticity and feeling free. For those of you where this represents a relationship, I love that you guys can be yourselves. You guys may be absolutely opposites, or just feel super comfortable with each other. And it's like no need to hide or even have a lot of obstacles and challenges behind your shadow sides. Okay. And it's like, well, what is my shadow side? The shadow is just an aspect of us that sometimes we don't see until a different sort of light is shed on it, because the sun shines light and we can all see in the daytime, right? But when the moon glows, we only see shadows. We don't see the figure. So it just tells you about another aspect of yourself that may not be as visible or as acceptable. How about that? Okay. Leos, make sure that you check if you're dealing with the Leo, or if you have Leo in your chart, it's at the bottom of the deck, the number 25. If there's any issues from the past, because I see amber here, and amber is very good and used for preservation. It also has like this golden hue. So if we have any challenges, it says like you're going to have higher energy, receive more opportunities, get more green lights. You're also going to have somebody coming toward you, I feel, that could be very romantic or like alpha male, masculine type vibe. And I don't know if you're going to discover some aspects about your shadow, their shadow, or this is just a warning that, what we're crossing and what we could be facing. So just be mindful that it's very exciting to meet new people. But these retrogrades that we're having and other aspects of your chart in combination, with these not so familiar frequencies, just be mindful. But the Amber Ripple's Strength card, because strength talks about appreciation and also grace. Okay. In the gentle ripples of life's amber moments, I draw upon my deep well of strength, gazing ahead with purpose. So it's like through this cold moon bay of shadows, we have a reminder about this golden waves of freedom. Okay. Because it's saying to gaze ahead with purpose. Now I can't see because of the shadow, but the little pointer is pointing to the past. So any issues from the past that may not have been resolved, maybe some areas of concern. If you don't have those concerns, don't make any. And I like this little extra bonus you guys got at the bottom. Maybe you like fairies and you got wings and stuff like that. And we're going to take out some tarot cards for you guys and extend these messages. That's so cute though. I kind of like that. Bottom of the deck, you got the 6 of Wands. So look, appreciation, reward, recognition, and awareness, everything that we just talked about. Some of you guys are going to be receiving something, giving something. And I'm talking about they're going to lay it on thick too, because the 6 of Wands is like, it's your parade, honey. It's your party. So just be appreciative, because I want to say we've all been there, but I don't know what you guys have been through and how old you are. But sometimes when we have it too good, we can take advantage of it. And, later we think about it when we mature, or sometimes even want that thing back and, experience the latter. This may be an opportunity to have that again and maybe handle it differently. So I think that that's super cool. Now let's see what the tarot has for you. Ooh, we got the King of Cups and the 9 of Cups. I don't know why. I just feel like some super sweet guy. I also feel your ability to have courage and bravery. If you are the super sweet, past people pleaser, that you have learned to contain your emotions, don't let them get the best of you, as well as not fleet or run from situations and just take ownership of the shadow. I also feel like there's some sort of wish fulfillment that comes through contentment. So like you have been okay with not having the thing, and now you get the thing because you grew to be okay without it. And I think that that's cool. Life happens like that. Now, what we're coming out of, it shows maybe some changes in your belief systems that doesn't have to be sparked by the retrogrades or any past things that need to be healed. But for some of you, there could be some religious differences, especially if you're meeting new people. So just be mindful of that. It also talks about this little energy boost you may be getting. If you have been energetically or financially deprived, the lion here and the horse is telling me a lot about what's bringing us out of the blue. And so we're going to have a little bit more golden light, more sunshine, more energy. The 5 of Pentacles is like a halfway mark for me. So it's harder for you to turn around and go back to being your old self than it would be to keep going forward, no matter how scary that is. So the forward motion is very important. Now, for some of you, help arrives. And when I say help, it just means you have something that you may have been lacking in the past. And I think that that's super cool. If it's a job, this may be, I don't want to say like a temp service, but it's some sort of contract. And usually maybe it's filling out the application or, signing off on your benefits package, whatever the case may be. Others of you, it's just a new job opportunity if there was any job loss in the past. Okay. Now, a clean bill of health, after I'm not a doctor, just giving you possible predictions that there could be some improvements in health, as well as finances. This also shows a giver. So a person that may have struggled with being a people pleaser, bending over backwards for folks and just being the only one, not really being reciprocated to. I feel like you could come into an environment, a partnership, a friendship, or a relationship or something with a person that adds on, helps, or supports, because you move out of the Five of Pentacles energy into the Six of Pentacles energy. And I think that that is super dope for you. So just keep that in mind. Okay. Also, this could be at least a document to sign. Okay. Now, good memories, bad memories, growth. Okay, we have chivalry with the King of Cups again. So there's some sort of chivalrous moment, and I feel like you're going to really appreciate it. Let's take a shuffle, and I'm going to take 3 cards to tell us more about this. Okay. Ooh, we have the World card coming up under the Lion. Okay, I knew it. I knew it. I knew that this one pentacle meant a big deal in comparison to those 5 pentacles. I absolutely knew it. Now, if you're in an existing relationship, you guys could be taking it to the next level. I'm going to cheat and look, okay? Because I knew that Hangman was there. Let me see why. We'll talk about that. Okay. Okay. I'm going to stop because then I'm going to forget to talk about what we're talking about. So I'm going to sit these here just like this and we'll talk about it. Now, where I was going with it first was the 10 pentacles that popped out that I feel have something to do with this Ace of Pentacles. It helps. This is a contract. If you've been with family, kind of stuck in a rut, you know, living with your cousin, whatever the case may be, there could be an opportunity, especially if you have children, to receive some sort of aid or help or something like that. It also may be a partner, if this is business, to get some support and even motivation, like energetically, or wish fulfillment, a little bit of change. It's gonna like be so helpful to your health. Like you're gonna be so happy and inspired. It's like someone offering to do something nice for you, or actually coming into some extra money. Like it's gonna spark your energy and ignite something. And even if you've been feeling down and blue, those things could sometimes put chemical imbalances into our body and make us feel a certain way. Well, the opposite is also the same. When we don't have, negative influences causing bad chemicals, and we have good ones, those happy thoughts, those expressions, those hugs, those feelings supported and cared for could improve our health. If not just by making sure we're not putting bad stuff into it, it gives out good stuff. And that's why I'm saying kindergarten words like stuff, because I'm not a medical professional, but I'm sure some of you may know the words, the endorphins and all that kind of stuff, all that jazz. Others of you, like I said, if you're in an existing relationship or coming out of a bad one, right? This is 2 different energies where you may have did a lot of shadow work in past relationships with someone who could have been a runner and not really committed. And then here comes someone else that's totally different. Instead of being flaky and like running out when things get complicated or they see your shadow side, someone else may be more graceful or even just have better leadership skills to be what you deserve for all of your hard work and your personal growth. Like they may not experience as much of your shadow as the runner. Don't feel bad for them, because wherever you guys were a magnetic connection, they were supposed to, right? They couldn't handle it. It happens. This relationship or person is a little bit different because it has more structure. I feel like you have broken free from a lot of things, and this person is just suitable. I don't want to say tolerate so you can get comfortable and want to go be toxic with them, because we just talked about this second chance, okay? But I love that. Where we talk about health improvement, some of us being more active, some of us, get into why are they all on water? Isn't that something? So emotions, a water sign, consciousness, but everything that water represents. This deck is not just about, oh, yes, it is. It's literally called Enchanted Waters. But some of them in the forest and other places. I've never had 3 cards where they were literally all on the water. So that's very interesting. It's like morning, evening, nighttime. Y'all may spend the whole day together, child, or just talk from sun up to sundown. I don't know. My point is, it talks about a level of completion. We talked about this number 10 and the horse, and then you also got 21 which is confident. It's given like Queen of Wands energy. And she could go one of both ways. She could be the very seductive, fertile, accommodating one that is just the wife any person would want to have. Or she could be your worst nightmare, depending on how you're coming at her. So that's very important to know, if that is a part of your shadow aspect, to keep yourself around people who bring out the best of you and not the worst. Okay? And the King of Cups, just like this lion, is tolerant. So it's like we don't want to go overboard on those that are tolerant of us. Okay? The Ten of Pentacles is just that. This is abundance. This is legacy. The breaking free from family issues. Group 1 had that. So just be mindful to be brave, not egotistical, but brave and graceful with sensitive situations that may involve family. And then you have the Sun card, which is a yes and an amplification of each card. So yes, we're aware of the shadow aspects. Yes, we're aware of the hard time that we're coming out of. Yes, we're aware where we run and we flee. And this could even be the other person. I even am aware of my ego. I'm going to check that. That's what makes me complete. And that's what makes me someone that a person sees as the full package and maybe wants to start a legacy with me, which means starting businesses together, buying properties together, moving in together, and blending families. So I think that's super cool. And I didn't forget group 2. We'll go over these couple of cards now. The Hangman came out. And when I said, why is the Hangman here? We got the Ace of Cups. Because I feel and then you got the 8 Wands. So you're going to see why. So the Ace of Cups could represent that new love. You have 3 aces here. So there's going to be a lot of new things. You're going to be feeling inspired. You're going to be getting better energy. I feel like some of you are going to meet a person, but I feel like for others of you, it's just personal, especially if you've been like growing through it as far as residency, finances, and just feeling stable, whether that's psychologically, energetically, or financially. There's a change in how you feel about things. And those changes could sometimes aid in what we're manifesting. So you could be bringing in these new things because you have new feelings about stuff. Maybe new feelings about relationships, new feelings about marriage, new feelings about what you want to do with your career and what's next. But I appreciate that. And so the Hangman just is an enlightened person that may have even incarnated with a life purpose to dedicate themselves to spirit or spirituality. I don't want to leave that out. So if that includes you having to travel or getting certain certifications and kind of figuring it all out, because like, how am I going to work and, do this whole soul purpose thing? It just says that you'll get more yeses than nos in the near future. You're going to come up with bright ideas and things are going to change. You're going to gain momentum. And when you do gain momentum, they're going to take off rather quickly. Okay. For those of us that are very spiritual beings, but also living in the world of society, when it comes to relationship, career, and finances, don't cheat yourself and understand that competition is still sometimes necessary. So there may be a need for us to be more assertive, to be a little bit competitive, which means you're not competing with anybody. You're just aware of the market and you getting in the game. You don't sit back and say, well, I'm a spiritual being and, I'm humble and I'm graceful and everybody else just getting ahead, getting what it is that you want. This says to take action too, for yourself. And so I love to give that advice for my soul group because it's something that I learned the hard way. So I am definitely, giving out auntie vibes, big sister vibes on that note, because I said we can't sell ourselves short. You think you're a good person. You think you're on God's side and, the good people, what do they say? The good God take the short stick and all that. No, we don't. We're just going to dead that narrative right now and claim this 10 of Pentacles. Okay, so I will see you, group 2, in your sun, moon, Venus, or rising sign reading, or the next time. And I hope that it helped. Group 3, welcome into your reading. And thank all of you guys for joining me today. I really think that this is so unique and so beautiful. All of the crystals honestly were. And so this was just a good pick. And I knew that I had to get this reading out because those crystals, it was just too good. Now, at the bottom of the deck for you guys, I saw empathy, and I am open to seeing both sides of the situation with the purple in the backdrop and a lot of this red in the center. I figured that it was very healing to help in situations that could make you angry, to have empathy. And that could mean the kids been at home too long for the summer, the different retrogrades that are approaching us this month in July, just things boiling in our systems that's been there too long, and the emotions and just things that we've been dealing with, words we want to say, people popping up because Mercury's in retrograde, Uranus is in retrograde. Who else? Gemini is doing something in we'll talk about it. So check the because I was about to get deep into it. Check the horoscope timestamp. I won't hold you long. It's actually really quick. I just run down the actual days in July and the transits and how they could affect you guys. And that's in addition to the tarot readings for the zodiacs that are timestamped. But let's get a card. That empathy at the bottom of the deck, I just had to stop and say, seeing both sides of the situation. It's not just for them, but also for your sake, to calm you down in those moments when, even if they're wrong or somebody's out of line, it's just, okay, this person is this or that, or just taking a breath and taking a step back may be important for you, group 3. Now, the card that you have is trust. I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly. See what I mean? So it may be a battle in between trying to pull yourself back from reacting, because responding is okay. But sometimes when we react, it's like knee-jerk reaction, and there's no thought. It's just like, but with trusting, it's the same, but the opposite, where what's going on. So you're not going to let anybody pull like a wool over your head. And that could ignite a particular reaction that you feel is warranted. But at the same time, the bottom of the deck said to show empathy. So you'll have to just dissect where that fits, if it does, into a situation that may or may not be in your experience. I'll say that because I'm not going to put that on everybody. But it's there. And see, we have regret and self-esteem in reverse. I don't take reversals in these cards because I just never have. But I'll note, and you saw it, that it was. So if there are others that are intimidated by you, or areas that you aren't 100% comfortable in and you working on yourself, this could be a situation that turns into something that it doesn't have to turn into because you watched this video. Okay? I possess gifts of the soul that benefit me and others. And see, I knew that others were going to be involved. And how this situation plays out, we will see. But at the bottom of the deck, I have regret. And it says, I know that I cannot change the past. So if any situations from the past have interfered with your ability to trust or your self-esteem, it may be important that we clear that, because I don't even want to say revisit that and sit with it. With all of these retrogrades and transits, and some lasting as long as 7 to 8 years, or had lasted that long, it could be important to, resolve some things or nip some things in the bud and not just review them. Even though the transit, the Mercury retrograde, and I believe Capricorn and Saturn is having a retrograde, those are more review type energies, but we don't want to get stuck in nothing. I don't want you to either. Now, there's a lot of cards upside down. The love card comes out that resembles the empathy. You notice that? I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things. There's nothing wrong with that. Seeing the good in all things is very beautiful. Sometimes we see things in others that are not physically there in the 3D, or that they don't see in themselves. And if you are dealing with a person that has low self-esteem, that you believe in so much, and you're pushing to do things, maybe you're going to get some different ideas, some different instructions, some different feelings, some different guidance. I don't know. And if you're that person, if you've been dealing with someone and they see something in you, or they tell you, you have trust issues, or you need to be more confident, and that's bothering you or irritating you, having empathy for whatever traumas make them so aggressive like that to be trying to fix you. It's like, you may be triggered in certain areas that I'm not, type deal. So pushing me and telling me to go after things, out of this traumatic response that you may have, just being empathetic to the whole situation. Does that make sense? Like you can mix and manage that however you like. Okay. Now, since your guys' situation clearly could involve others, we're going to use the Sacred Geometry Oracle and Relationship cards. The first card, now let me see. Okay, I had to make sure. I'm like, no, these cards are not in reverse. Jeez. We might want to take a look into our solar plexus because I had to flip it over. The energy of the solar plexus helps us to realize who we are and who we want to be so that we can set a course toward our goals. Okay. So I was kind of feeling like that message was for you, but I don't want to lay it on too thick or seem judgy. So I just blame other people and then try to soften the blow. Okay. Now, when we talk about blows, okay, and aggression and chaos and situations that could or could not blow out of proportion, we do have friendships here. So where it talks about others and empathy and watching our response or reaction, there could be a friend or a friendship in this situation. The energy of friendship supports our intrinsic desire for connection with others based on mutual affections and appreciation. So if there is a friend that for some of you may want to be more than a friend, that situation could blossom because you have friendship and love right next to each other. Ooh, I also see commitment and awareness. Y'all see that? Commitment and awareness just kind of stuck me in the finger. And I think this is the heart chakra or allowance. Ooh. So allowance and friendship had the same colors on it. There could be a blossoming of a friendship into love. Okay. Or your love for your friend, Okay. Awareness came back out. So with awareness, the number is 11. It's a master number. The master number 11 is connected to the spiritual realm, wishes, and mastery in those fields. How about that? The energy of awareness supports our capacity to focus our attention on all aspects of a multidimensional world so that we create a reality that we truly choose. Now, for some of us, you may be manifesting love. It also talks about balancing out how much we feed into or put into situations because we are trusting and seeing things in individuals and supporting them or being empathetic toward them, but just having some awareness of what's being put back into your cup as well and balance. Using your discernment with a friend in July may be significant. And this could be a homie lover friend for some of you guys. So if there's someone spinning the block or a returned lover, I'll pull a zodiac sign or two for you guys to see who that could be. But this is important because trusting yourself could be what either pulls in this wish fulfillment or breaks you out of this long-term karmic cycle of repetitive nothingness. Okay. Now, the third eye chakra talks about your intuition and your inner insight. That's coming next to trust. 6 and 11 are both numbers that talk about balance as far as frequencies. So it is very important. When I think of 6 and love, I think of the 6 of cups. So we talk about growth. This person may be from your childhood. This friend may be from your childhood or any inner child issues that may have interfered with your self-esteem. I think these cards are just telling me more so about a connection that you have to a person, an experience that could come up throughout these retrogrades. Okay. That's what it feels like. But if you don't resonate with that, take what resonates, and I respect it. You have soul and expression. Okay, so the first card, the energy of our soul, activates our connection to part of us that is closer to the higher realm, God or the divine. I think that is super cool. Now, the soul is number 37, if that's significant, and you also have the number 19 in expression. That could be connected to the sun card energy right next to the solar plexus. So expression is definitely talking about how we communicate during the Mercury retrograde as well as other aspects of July. It's telling you to express yourself, to bring out your true essence, to trust your intuition. And it also talks about different forms of communication. So if self-esteem and nostalgia, as well as adjustments and love, could all be categorized into what does that mean, Dr. MB? It says that being assertive, activating willpower, being in control psychologically, because we don't want anyone to interfere with our third eye, as well as our intuition, and send any sort of messages that conflict what it is we truly feel. You've heard of that, right? Where there's a telepathic connection that you could have to a person or people, and that interferes with you along your path because you're guided one way, you're feeling one thing, and then these messages, or what do they say, these intrusive thoughts start intruding. Just be mindful of that, because I feel some of you know this and or will remember this reading when you have this experience, and I feel like you're going to have a breakthrough, which leads to empowerment. But there's something important about, just being empathetic, but not at the point of devaluing your self-esteem when it comes to friendships or relationships this month. Okay. Look at that balance. It is very important to have it, because I feel like we may have went more on one side than the other side for individuals, or at least this one person, and you can break out of some or a very repetitive karmic cycle by, just going with your flow, not the intrusive thoughts. Okay. I'm going to zoom in and give you guys a moment to look over the cards to see if you pull anything else intuitively from the selection, and I'll see you in your horoscope readings. The timestamps are below. Let's see if I can make it better. Did that make it? It didn't. I'm just going to stop touching it. There you go. Group 4, we are going to get started with your reading. Oh my gosh, like, this is life. It just looked like some fancy marble floor or wall, because it got that gold, like, just, discreetly intertwined into that marble, and I think it is so elegant, Group 4. So I made sure to get some elegant cards for you on this elegant day. At the bottom of the deck, you guys have acceptance and growth in one circle, discomfort and contrast in the other circle, and wisdom in the center. This is coming up at the bottom of the deck. I feel these may be accomplishments. Like, we've accepted or have grown in certain sections that before could have made us uncomfortable because of how different we or it was. And we've learned so much from it. When I see discomfort and contrast, it's like, okay, are we making people uncomfortable because we're different? Or do we feel uncomfortable in situations where people may not be the same as us? Okay. The first card you guys have out is the words you speak become the house you live in. There's a big gold coin. So it could literally be talking about a house. Okay, so just be mindful of not limiting yourself. I feel like God, Spirit, Source, the universe wants to give you something, and maybe you don't even know that you deserve it or feel like you deserve it. So don't limit yourself to your current budget. Don't limit yourself to your family background. You can if you want to, but this card is just saying to be careful with that, because it could be limiting the cap that you put on things, or things that you don't feel or believe that you may be able to accomplish. I also like the little squares. The squares always put me in the mind frame of the checkerboard or chessboard, and it talks about strategy and how you move and the objective. So when it comes to your strategy, how you're moving, some of you literally could be moving. Just be mindful about what you're manifesting. I would say go big, dream big, because this could be an opportune time where doors may open for you. So don't settle. Okay. You also have, you are allowed to outgrow, and see, the bottom of the deck just talked about growth, and that's exactly what I was talking about. You are allowed to outgrow people. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to walk away. You are allowed to be proud. You are allowed to be multifaceted. You are allowed to thrive. You are allowed to be silent and alone. You are allowed to reinvent yourself. This card is what I'm channeling intuitively, but like I try not to go too hard on y'all relatives or exes and stuff like that in my readings. But I could just feel that you were different. And I don't even like to use the word different because you're not different. It's unfortunate that others don't have your gifts, your abilities, or your connections to the spiritual realm. So that's what makes you different, not, those things. It's just if more people had that capacity, then you wouldn't have to be different. So it's not even your fault. And sometimes it's hard to see it that way or be as confident as I'm laying it out there when it's everybody else. It's I don't care if you are the most confident, aware, awoke, or whatever the new hip thing is. I don't care what you are. When everybody in your environment is saying something different, not really being supportive of your ideas or not even having your same interests and hobbies, I don't care how aggressive you are. I don't care what rebel blood you got in your body. At some point, you're going to sit down and question or judge yourself. And if you don't, cool. But it's just not really natural. So, but if you don't, you need to bottle that up and give the rest of us some. So yeah, you're allowed to do all of that. So just be mindful of the words that you speak to yourself and the thoughts that you're having. Don't limit yourself because of others. Okay. Now we have slow down, or maybe there was a slow down. Slow down sometimes have us questioning ourselves. I do get that. Why you want to tilt over? Now I'm being nosy. We have approach all differences with a lens of intrigue and a mind open wide to the infinite possibilities. Now I giggled because someone else is intrigued or going to be intrigued by those differences that haunted you around other people. You'll come into contact with either a person, a group of people, a new career, or a community that's in alignment with who you are. The very person that makes up the most of you, but it feels like you don't get to express often, you'll have more time with that aspect of you, and I think it'll be appreciated by others. It also talks about approaching all differences. So if group 4, you are an individual that has someone in your environment now or in the near future who's really different and who's been through a lot, just kind of be mindful of how you project. And spirit is like, no, you had it right the first time. Cool. We just want to be mindful of the projections. Okay. Now, approaching differences with a lens of intrigue is exactly what I was saying before, that we don't want to limit ourselves. We're going to be put in new rooms with new opportunities, maybe moving into a home or areas better than you thought you would, or getting jobs, focusing on your education. Maybe some of you guys are considering getting another degree, or whatever the case may be. There's a difference in the past and the future. And because of this difference, and probably a big difference, it's going to require us to have a different perspective or approach to it. Okay. And for all of you, that is not a person. For some of you, it's a lifestyle. And for others of you, I feel strongly it could be a location. See things as they are, not as you are. All right. So that is that. We don't even have to see things as they are and not as you are. Don't give people the chance that you wish you had and they haven't earned it. or it's going against your better judgment. But you like, well, I'm just gonna. It's like saying, don't do that. All right, let's see what we have here. These tickled my finger. There is a power in stillness. Non-action is also a remedy. So just be mindful of feeling remorseful, guilty, getting depression or anxiety behind not really having a lot of emotion in the past. Like if you don't really feel overly accomplished, or you think that you could have done more, or you want more, this relationship isn't moving fast enough, or I didn't do everything I said I was going to do with New Year's. Whatever we're telling ourselves, sometimes stillness is a remedy. Sometimes not overreacting or making it worse is also an accomplishment. You also have listen, attune to higher guidance. So it's like the answers could be there and your guides are here, as well as a wish fulfillment on the way, because I'm looking at the shooting star. So if this isn't a person that has already mastered some things that you're having trouble with coming into your environment, appreciating and understanding you because they've been there, it also gives me like, a master, a guide or something on the way to kind of help navigate with you whatever you're going through to get you to where you want to go. You may have prayed for something. You could have wished for something, and you're a realist. You don't think that it's just going to fall out of the sky, or that you can light a candle and snap your finger. And that could be hard to deal with sometimes. And we're questioning, well, how are we going to do it? But clearly something is falling out of the sky. You just won't see it. And they're saying to connect to your intuition, deepen your spiritual practices so that you can be closer to this, what you wished for, right? And I said this, what you wished for, because it's like a guide for some of you, or a manifestation of some sort that you're calling in. So I don't want to name it, okay? Now, slow down came up just a second ago for some of you, and it had the same colorism here. Mountains usually, they usually, what word do I want to use? They usually represent, because I was like, I'm saying that word, okay? Mountains usually represent obstacles and challenges. And to me, I've heard that mountains represent where God rests, okay? That said, you got a whole bunch of hills, valleys, and mountains, and not really a direction or a path. And we have the glow. The moon glow is like the light that we have. It says, does your objective still hold relevance? Now, some of you, there could be some reevaluating your perspective. And I told you that was very important because of this past present transition, a portal of opportunity that you have. I feel like for some of us, we could have been doing something the long way or the hard way. And Spirit has this soft life energy over here at the beach with sparkles and glitter, talking about strengthen your intuition. So for some of you, it's like, I want a holistic based business. I want to attract more people and be more influential. I want a better relationship. I want to be around people like me. I want to do stuff that makes me happy. And it's like, it ain't about, hoodoo and voodoo and what you do or what you're not doing. It's energetic or psychological, right? But over here, if we're not tapped in or have recognized that it really is that simple, these are the obstacles that just come up as big boundaries, and we have no idea how to get through them or why they're there. Now, because this is a nature card and it's just like they're outside in a bunch of mountains, it's some of us that may have outdated beliefs to say that's just life, right? We have parents and grandparents, aunts and uncles, or spouses that tell us, that's just life. Life ain't fair. So the words that we use are creating our next steps, just like in this game. One move and the other person move, and everybody's trying to get to something, or they have an objective, but it's like, be clear on what yours is, as well as people in your environment. Because if you truly would prefer to get ahead, is telling ourselves that life isn't fair, or all money is bad, like little bitty things that we may think subconsciously, or those thoughts really helpful at all. Okay, because this is right over here with be intrigued with a new lens, open our mind wide to the infinite possibilities. Okay, then you have observe, react, inquire, then respond. Now that is very significant too. There's power in not doing anything, because there could be tests involved, either those obstacles or those people or this game and this strategy, or just this transition of how it was into how it's about to be. It says observe, react, inquire is up here, and then you have response. So it's like it's a few steps and even a little bit of stillness before they get a response out of us, or if you're waiting to hear back about something and you giving up hope, or you got some, doubt subconsciously, it may take a little bit because of all these things that are required, and then like a process or a waiting period, and then you will get that response. So I think that that's cool. And Spirit is just saying that, they get it, or, God gets it. You're allowed to do everything that you're doing. Okay. It's just a process and a little bit of a waiting period. All right. Who I am, who the world expects me to be. I think is really important, group 4, that you not only check out your sun sign tarot reading, timestamp below, but also possibly your rising sign, because I did tell you guys in the intro that it's helpful in understanding how others see you, as well as little hints and tips that may aid along your journey. And this card came up with who I am in one light, and it's highlighted. So it's like we know who we are, or if you don't, Spirit is showing you who you are. This is the light and darkness, the calm and chaos or whatnot. But then here we have this shaded area of gray, who the world expects me to be. So is there someone in your life that wants you to dim your light from past or in the present and even in the future? Consider everything that's been said and possibly apply it to that situation, because this card couldn't be more clear. Like, if they expect you to be the bigger person and dim your light, Spirit has you here, or you have you here. And either way, that is a conversation to be had. Okay. Now I'm going to take 2 additional cards. Spirit's advice for the near future and any possible challenges. We'll put the advice under the shooting star, the challenges under stillness over here. So here's the advice. We have Sabi Wabi. It's Japanese. Okay. The art of finding beauty in the imperfections of life. Yeah, Spirit is definitely saying that negative thinking or those outdated beliefs. Okay. And then for the challenges, possibly, if any, okay, you got more stars. I like that. It says, what is, Jesus Christ, I need some glasses. What if I approach this with curiosity instead of judgment? Okay. So there is power in stillness. Non-action is also a remedy. And that gives you time to listen, observe, be open, and not off the bat being judgmental or opinionated. I mean, because it doesn't have to be like you are the aggressor in the situation. It could even be a tip. You just got a tip on how to not react to somebody that may deserve a reaction. Like, it's whatever they do or say, or whatever the situation is, we may all agree unanimously that they got what they deserve or something like that. But Spirit is saying, no, for your betterment, for this situation, or just because I said so, consider, I ain't gonna say sitting this one out, but it's like taking a different approach. And I think that that's super cool. And it's like not just Spirit saying it. These are ancestors, gods. You know, this behavior could be hereditary. I've experienced that, because I react like my grandmother, and I'm way nicer. I'll say that I think, it's my opinion, that the world got lucky with me, because I have very strong women in my family. And, I feel like my South Side is just a door of opportunity for the future to to bring in some new experiences. And I feel like it's relevant, even if it doesn't have to do with your grandmother child or aggression. It's just, you have the capacity to go from here to over here, and to do that, it's going to require different aspects of you, different reactions, because you're going to be in different environments. And I hope all of that made sense, because I get it now. Okay. And I hope you do too. I will check you guys out in your zodiac readings. Until next time. Okay. So I was trying to make a smiley face. Does that look like a little face? We're going to quickly go through the July horoscope. This is all inclusive for anybody on earth right now. Okay. This is transital. Now, how it affects you depending on your natal chart, we'll talk about in your individual zodiac tarot readings that are coming after this. So check the timestamp if you want to skip ahead or let it rock out. And we're going to start with Aries. If you're not an Aries, then after this little introduction, just go down to the comments or the description box and click on your sun, moon, Venus, or rising sign. So for the month of July, we start with the Neptune retrograde, which could bring about some indecisiveness or feelings of limbo. My advice is to focus on your goals and just pretend that they're trying to trap us in the matrix, and we ain't gonna get through the matrix unless we avoid the programming, right? It's the best way I could put it. On July 7th, Uranus enters Gemini, and some of you guys may struggle with dreams, or others of you, it may stir up dreams. It could be like an old dream from a long time ago, and you say, oh, this feels familiar, or like deja vu. And others of you, the dreams aren't literal. It just says that anything that you anticipated being at this point in your life, or the dreams that you have for your children, your relationships, your financial aspect, those things are coming up. And with it being in Uranus, we could expect some unexpected changes. I love unexpected changes for the better. And others of us, we could have just unexpected changes. The significance, I feel like, of July 7th is not only that Uranus enters in Gemini, but this also wraps up and starts a new 7-year cycle. So just imagine that. July is the 7th month, and on the 7th day of it, a transit happens that happens every 7 years. Okay, so something really significant about July 7th. Okay, now on the 10th, we have a full moon in Capricorn, and it could bring about sudden awareness into your priorities. Now, this could be priorities into a relationship, in life, in general, in your household. But take that energy, and I feel like rock with it, because priorities should be prioritized. Now, July 13th, Saturn goes into retrograde that asks us to review our commitments. And Saturn is very clear cut and stern. All right. So we'll deal with that energy as it comes about, but it could be beneficial. And, you may notice people getting proposed or married, or just getting out of situationships into relationships for whatever reason. Now, July 18th, Mercury turns retrograde. Woohoo! In Leo. So looking at things in new ways and reviewing your pursuits may be important. Slow down. It's Mercury. July 24th is a new moon in Leo. So a lot of Leo energy going around. I hope y'all like Leos. If not, you feeling like, ooh. But Leo's cool, right? It's a clean slate and a fresh start. So even if whatever you feel about Leo, here's a fresh start and a clean slate, because that's what a new moon in Leo does. So as we get through July, it's preparing you for a clean slate. And everybody knows the 8-8 portal is coming up, and all sorts of magnetic energy in Leo season. So be nice to Leo, okay? We appreciate Cancers. Happy birthday to y'all. And we welcome that new start, clean slate energy, especially with 3 or 4 retrogrades happening at the same time. All right? Now, July 30th is Chiron's, kind of turns into retrograde as well. And we reassess our mental and physical health habits. this is a good thing. You know, what we think about all the time, how it makes us feel, or what we do all the time and how it's affecting us. Now, I'm a millennial, and I'll tell you that I have been reviewing my diet and my habits more often, unconsciously and consciously, lately. So maybe we're all coming into that energy. Maybe it's just where it's at in my chart. And I'm like, am I getting old? Like when you start caring, it's like, is this too much sugar? And Googling things like what the side effects or signs are for this and that. So just be mindful that ending of July, we may have more of that energy than usual. Okay. Now we are going to get into your tarot readings. I'm also going to use Oracle, Crystal, Zodiac, as well as Astro placement charts, Zodiac, for your individualized readings. Click on your Sun, Moon, Venus, rising sign below and meet me there, or stay right here and get started with Aries in your chart. Aries, we are going to start with you guys. All right. As I get your cards shuffled up, I will say, looking into your horoscope, the biggest advice I can give is to be vigilant. Use your strength, right? Your inner strength to overcome any obstacles, but tame your normal approach when you react to battle. Not saying that there will be any, but if there are, okay? If there are, my beautiful Aries. We're going to take out 3 cards, talk about them. Then we'll pull some clarifiers and oracle cards for you guys. Okay, I heard you loud and clear. Loud and clear. For some of you, we have dogs barking in the background. For others of you, when I said tame, you got Temperance right here. How to cover her up. Temperance definitely talks about balance. It talks about reconciliations for some of you. So everybody's not into love and relationships, but if you have been kind of getting nudged intuitively that there could be a return or some sort of victory over a battle that you feel you lost in the past, get ready for that win, because you got the 6 of Wands with Temperance, okay, and the 2 of Wands. So it talks about domination. I think that is what could spark your flame, because you guys got plenty flame, all right? But remember to tame your normal approach when you react, okay? Bottom of the deck, you got the Prince of Pentacles, and I love that. It definitely talks about commitment for those spinning the block, possibly reconciliating. It also talks about those of us that may be more focused on finances and career and taking it slowly, like understanding that finishing is more important than anything else. So having every emotion and every solution to every problem so that you cross the finish line may be very important for you, Aries, okay? We have, these cards be talking. We have the 8 of Pentacles. It talks about prudence. So some of you here may be interested, work, finances, or mastering something that you have repetitively been working at. I super love that for you. Let's see why. Ooh, Judgment. Okay. So it's like finally making a decision towards something, and just be mindful that there are a lot of different energies that are happening with multiple retrogrades. So if you find yourself burnout or feeling that you're doing something, but it's losing its spark, Judgment says that there may just be a need to review, right? You may be heavily affected by like Saturn, Uranus, I think Mercury, and one other transit that really has us in review mode, whether it's emotionally. One of them is like career and social or personal life. And for some of you, it could be work, family situations, and relationships. Judgment, as I cover him up, okay, all of them, also points to something that comes close to being over, but really isn't ever. So family ties, those long lost loves, those twin flames, things just resurfacing from the past, like the Mercury retrograde happening, or things that we felt we may have been over and done with. Maybe not so fast. Okay. We'll pull some clarifiers on that if that's getting you interested a bit. We have the Prince of Cups, and see, this energy is a little bit different from the King of Pentacles. I'm sorry, the Prince of Pentacles that was at the bottom of the deck, especially when it comes to whatever it is that you're working on. For all of you, it may be different, okay? Whether it's a relationship, your career, social life, your influence, creative projects, whatever the case may be, here is following your heart. Here is being inspired from your emotions and your feelings and really driving that horse, driving the force. However, throughout the journey, the Prince of Cups doesn't always have the extra attributes to overcome hidden things that we didn't know was going to come up, a change in feelings that sometimes happens in long-term commitments, be it work, aiming for a promotion in a certain field. You almost get to mastering it and then want to switch it up, right? Or in a relationship, same thing. Okay. Now, for those of you that may have a lover returning, if work, family, a social life, and their personal image took a priority over you guys' relationship, they may be returning to, say or do something differently. And we'll pull some additional cards. Let's start with your crystal astro cards. It'll give us some information on the signs that you guys could be dealing with in case you want to check your sun, moon, Venus, or rising sign, depending on what this reading is for you, or the sign of someone involved in your situation. Here's blue. So I'm supposing that the Prince of Cups could be Gemini or Pisces. Makes sense. Okay. We have Mercury, which is going to be in retrograde in, I believe, the mid part of July, if not the beginning. But you guys have blue lace agate, which is very beautiful. Very beautiful, very earthy, very airy, very watery. Okay. Peace, gentle, and new beginnings. I think that that's super cool. Blue agate is your supportive nudge in the right direction, whispering words of encouragement when you experience self-doubt. It opens your throat chakra and helps ease any blockages in your self-expression. Being seen and heard is a priority. Your feelings are valid and important too. Don't worry about what others will think. Release all fear of judgment and get ready to leave any thoughts of inadequacy behind. Did I say that right? Inadequacy? Okay. Blue lace agate encourages you to start anew because every day is a fresh beginning. So for some of us, that starting anew could be the challenge because this is definitely something that we've been working on. Okay. Now, I see the Aquarius, moon in Aquarius for some of you guys. Decisions, flow, and looking at the bigger picture. See the forest for the trees. Now, if that hits home for you, this may be a family situation because I have ancestors that used to say that all the time. See the forest for the trees. It's like, I can't even explain it because it's like some old Southern stuff, but bigger picture thinking is enhanced with this particular crystal. So allowing you to see beyond the details, there you go, and gain a better grasp over the decision you must make. That is crazy because this card just kept staring at me, and I don't like to just randomly do things, but making a decision. Look at that. Beautiful card. Okay. That one puts me in the mind frame of like Archangel Raphael, who definitely helps with relationships, be it family issues, how you see yourself, just love, and dealing with each other in general. Okay. Bottom of the deck feels a lot like you, even though it's Sagittarius. We have Venus and Mars energy, and you know how that's a love-hate situation. So those of you that resonated with the returning lover, we have journey, past life, soul contracts. The journey has just begun. Okay, they do that. And Wolfenite can travel through your past, present, and future, and it opens up communication with the spirit world, but also aids in past life recognition. So for you or another, this energy could provoke the coming forward and working on something that could have been, a nail in the coffin. Now, as far as what affects you the most, Aries, and I kind of told you, it was more so being vigilant. I think that's clear. It also came out in your tarot cards. A couple of astro cards here. We have discipline, tenacity, and resilience. May be important for some of you. And also Capricorn, wherever it fits in your experience or natal chart. You have dissonance, adjustment, and discord. Okay. And the equinox, All right. Very beautiful. That's that advanced astrology. Sagittarius is coming up again with adventurous, free, and philosophical, and pointing toward my guy over here. So be mindful of that. If you have any Sagittarius in your life, we have planetary return. So the conversation is falling in alignment with where the return could come from, what area in your chart it may affect. And lastly, you guys have Virgo. Analytical, functional, and efficient. This could help you get into that Knight of Pentacles energy, but also be where you need to tame your normal approach and reaction to energies that are like that. Because Aries, dealing with someone who's overly analytical, I know is probably not your favorite. Okay. And at the bottom of, I want you to see it just like it is. Oh my God. And I was gonna say at the bottom of the deck, it literally says Aries, and then it says opposition, resistance, struggle, and polarity. So Aries, that is what I have for you. I do hope that it helps, and thank you guys for watching. Taurus, it is your turn, and thank you guys for tuning in. We are about to get started with your personalized tarot card reading. At the bottom of the deck, you have the Hangman. So you may connect with a Pisces or check where it has in your chart. It also just signifies someone who is chosen and has a purpose or a life path that they are pursuing this lifetime. Now, if you're feeling stuck or stagnant, I will say the biggest advice that I could give you from looking over your horoscope before we get to tarot, it just talked about the energy. It may be wild within you or in your environment. So it was recommended to stay grounded. Find ways to exude the extra energy. Okay. Especially if we feel bored or stuck. It's like, no, you just have extra energy. And it's like, what are we going to do with it? So what do we have? It's a lot jumping out. Okay. We have the Lord of Pleasure. You guys have the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups talks about growth predominantly, but mostly nostalgia. So there could be some memories. Okay. Memories resurfacing. Then your energy pops out with the Lord of Earthly Power. We have the Four of Pentacles. There could be things that may be unresolved from the past for whatever reason. Those things may resurface in your dreams, in your thoughts, or you could find yourself just having a feeling of deja vu. The Six of Cups also points to children, all right, and inheritances. So those things could be significant. Or someone just holding on to something and being petty. Not going to lie to you. Now, you also have the World card. There is the shadow side of holding on to something and being kind of stuck in it in a nostalgic manner. And then there's the other aspect of completion. Completion just says you are part of closure for someone. So there could be others in your environment that could be holding on to something, because I forgot Taurus is also a part of this. So it's like you're a part of something that is big, that is mainstream. So whether it's a project, whether it's a huge aspect of someone else's timeline, or just something that completes your timeline, the different aspects that you look at for completion, you have a big part in it. And I think that that's super cool. The King of Pentacles is at the bottom of the deck. And you guys have, what's this blue card? Because it's like wanting to talk. I just want to see. Ooh, and Lord of Abundance. So the King of Pentacles, let's just talk about that. The King of Pentacles in an energy of abundance or making an offer says that you could receive an invitation, some sort of, I guess it could be social, but it just brings about some sort of happiness. It may be a friend or gathering with friends and receiving a gift. Okay. You don't always have to inherit things from family and parents, but I definitely love that. Someone may be in a celebratory mode and maybe a good gift giver. So if you have been online dating or you meet someone new, this person may ask to take you somewhere, or you could meet each other while you're out. Okay. The Three of Pentacles, I can't lie. It does say that either this person is looking to collaborate with someone up your speed, okay, in a relationship, in a financial partnership, or just double check that this person is single, because it's like focus on the Four of Pentacles. It could be, something that feels familiar because it's a karmic relationship and not a soulmate relationship. And come to find out, this person isn't fully single. Maybe you guys are just like strongly drawn to each other for many different reasons. I give it past life energy. But let's check it out. Let's see, Taurus, like, what's up with you and your person? And then for those of you that may be more interested in finance, career, I'm also going to pull a finance card for you guys. So let's see what we have for that King of Pentacles and this Four of Pentacles and how they connect. I saw something. I'm going to let it come out on its own. Is that you? Bonding, acceptance, and service. You have Virgo, Scorpio, Sagittarius. Chiron is also doing a thing at the end of July, which just really could bring things to the surface, resurfacing, or giving us opportunities to heal through our experiences. So either way, fate may bring you and this person or this situation together. There are presence in the present. See, I also said I feel like there's somebody who's like a big spender or a good gift giver. Child, I don't mind that. If you're just looking for a friend, now I told you, I don't know if this person is involved or just has a different mindset toward monogamy. Doesn't mean that it could also just be a strong magnetic connection where you guys, discuss partnerships outside of just romantically. Okay. But it talks about it being true acceptance, letting go of expectations for what life should be, and embracing what it is right now by just being. It brings deep healing to your physical and emotional selves, down to your very cell, by reconfiguring old programming and a new way of processing your daily life. Okay, I love that. And if you want to see it, there it is. All right. Just as beautiful as this world card here, by being very confident. I think confidence may win this person over, even if they aren't in a relationship. Look at pyrite. Make sure it's not fool's gold, right? Even if they aren't like, I want to say super single. Like, is that even a thing? They may not be like involved. So, if you like them like that, it just says being super confident, and what's the word? And collaborative. It may help. All right. Now we have Rainbow Mayanite. We have Karma, Foundation, Chakra Alignment. So this card just confirms, along with tarot and astrology, we're all going to, even if like I'm giving one reading for all of the Tauruses that could potentially watch this video, this card is like making my day, because it still clarifies we're going to attract based on our choices, our energy, and our chakra alignment. So whether we attract karma, a foundational relationship, a high vibration, it just depends on where you are. And you can thank the sun and Pluto energy. This has Leo, Virgo, and Libra energy. So your Pluto or sun, or their Pluto or sun, may be in one of these energies. It's a good thing though. So I hope what I said didn't sound like doom and gloom, because this is an exceptionally high vibrational crystal. Rainbow Mayanite allows you to face any challenges, karmic patterns, and pulls out the drudgery of the past that is ingrained in the energetic body. See what I'm saying? Some fated situation, person, or place that is here to do something magnificent, even if it doesn't feel like it in the moment. Okay. Connecting to your spiritual team, this crystal can guide you into seeing multiple perspectives, offering many solutions. So I love that. And here is the beautiful crystal. It also has the, what do they call it? Octahedron. I call it a tetrahedron, but if you guys are, kind of like interested in the platonic solids or meditation, Metatron, those are my people, the archangels and ascended masters, all my mystics. For some of you, that could be something that helps if you want to just like snap out of, some matrix traps, or whatever we call them these days. I think looking into a light body activation could help. And maybe if you've been experimenting in light body activation, meditation, or breath work, you could be manifesting in this person, place, or situation. Now we have independence. So for some of you, it's not really about coming into collaboration with people, but breaking away from those old habits by being fully independent and within your feline power. And this is male or female. Cats are very mystic. Okay, so we have independence. I think whatever it is that you may be receiving, if this is a gift or some sort of inheritance, a little, what do you call it? A little offering or an advance and pay for your work, as well as, what am I looking for? An allowance. Okay. This may move you forward. And as I say, move, here is a door and a key. So if you are, I want to say, confused on any issues, past life, about yourself, about how do you connect to a person, what is the future like for you, this talks about unlocking some memories or just being in that nostalgic dreamlike energy. But the key and the door is here and the light is over here. So that's interesting. Some of you guys could even be looking into this person's sign, like now, like on the internet, or just releasing yourself with this key from past situations. Okay. If you've had a door closed in the past, I feel like this key will allow you to move forward in the future. And the number is 32. That could be significant to some of you. That's a very powerful master number. Now, Aquarius could be involved. I always attach the owl to an air sign. So I feel like some of you guys, there's definitely some air energy here. You got the owl at the bottom of the deck. It talks about wisdom, some sort of wisdom coming through from a person, place, guide, ancestor that releases you. And look, here's the mirror. Someone from the other side. Okay, I think that's super dope. Gives you this key. This key could be a belief too. It's connected to the Hierophant, which is like you, Taurus. You are your way out. Okay. The being strategic, being traditional, playing by the rules. Okay. There we go. And preserving something and holding back a little bit when it comes to overspending on children, as well as being in this dreamy, not so grounded energy state, which is not your norm, but with all the retrogrades, it happens to the best of us. Now you have omniscience as well as Eye of Horus. And so some of you guys may be tapping into what you believe in spiritually, religiously, whatever. Someone in your environment, as far as a relationship, you could have different understandings. Some of you guys may be considering traveling so that you can do more spiritual work or humanitarian work. And I think that that's super cool. And on my thumb, I almost let it go. This is like an initiant. It says the flames. So I really feel like some of you guys are mystics and you were here to do something expansive. Like Neo had to break out of the matrix, but it was destiny. He was going to do it either way, but we had to watch him go through the energy of self-doubt and confusion. And, one thing he had to walk away from to solidify his choice in independence, right? And then through that independence, kind of learning all of these new things and then having the courage to, even if it was hard to believe, jumping straight into it, Taurus. So I feel like that could be the strongest energy for you, because these are 7 little flames, and that's also 7 wand energy. So there may be some sort of test, involved. We got a lot of Emperor energy here, 4 Pentacles, the square, and then also setting healthy boundaries and defending ourselves. Now that's your natural energy. So you be the judge of right or wrong, true or false, and how it's working. Also, Taurus, before I get into Gemini's reading, let me not forget that I said I would pull a finance or career card for you guys, and I didn't want to be a liar. So immediately taking out my finance cards, I see North Star, which is very important. The North Star for me reminds me of the North Node. Doesn't have to mean that for you, but look into your North Node. There's a lot of hidden hints and things that support our next move, our highest boon, and a career path or just a mindset and energy to be in that could help you pull out of more karmic past energy and to get into the next level. But you're facing the future with excitement as you follow your dreams and embrace your passion in life. You are now directed to your life's purpose. So if you feel you're doing meaningless things, or you're in survival mode, just wanting to know when your luck will change, your answer is within your life purpose and doing something passionate. I don't care if it's a hustle, and I don't care if you have the time to commit 15 years at a university. Starting today, it being a part of your life purpose, as well as something that you're passionate about in this life, is what's going to bring you the financial gain or success, as well as emotional fulfillment that you're looking for. And I hope that helps. Gemini, it is your turn. All right. Now, quickly, your horoscope advice as we get to your tarot cards is, well, it's not really advice. It's kind of like what you can expect. Some people had advice, but for you guys, it was just a possibility for sudden changes, as well as breaking free from any area of stagnation. So you got the Uranus retrograde affects Gemini, or whatever house you have Gemini in the most, because I think Uranus is going to be in Gemini. So it's like unexpected for the good. Now, there's no good and bad, so let me not bring about judgment. My point is, sometimes we have unexpected changes and they're for the better. Other times they're a bit uncomfortable, but if we had 5 years, 10 years, 32 weeks, or 7 days to kind of do something we hadn't done, that is what clearing away stagnant energy looks like, when the universe or something outside of your control makes way for the new. So it's easier on us when we do it, is all I'm gonna say. So let's get the cards shuffled and maybe get them from upside down. All right. What do we have for Gemini? Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising. All right. Okay. My girl. We got the Queen of Wands. We also have the Ten of Wands at the bottom of the deck. We have the Hermit and the Nine of Swords. So it's kind of like a mixed review. Let me start with what I felt. When I see her immediately with all the flames, it's like the 8 Wands have happened. The 3 Wands had happened. You got the 4 Wands happened, turned into 5 Wands, and then 6 Wands came. And if you say, what does that mean? Baby, just going through all the feels. Like, there are things you decided not to do either way. You didn't choose person A or B and said, I'm going to go out for C, right? There's arrangements that may have been made, or rearrangements. I don't care if it was during the solstice or at the change of the season, and saying, I need, a new clothes, redo my closet, or change the decorations in the house, things of that nature. Things could have taken off rather swiftly in certain areas. A lot of messages coming in for my spiritual clairvoyant people, or text messages, emails, packages, things of that nature. But then there's a sense of the 5 of Wands, where there may not have been a lot of support from your environment. There could have been jealousy, some dark energy, some real hateful energy coming towards you, Gemini, because you got the 6 Wands. You are aware. Everybody's attention was on you, or is on you. And like I said, the 10 of Wands is telling me you have pretty much mastered, completed, or gone through all of the motions of like the energetic fluctuations. So you guys should definitely be okay through all of the retrogrades, because you probably have experienced much of the energies: communication, people, relationships, work, personal feelings, social life. What am I doing? What am I not doing? Stuff like that. And see, 2 of Wands. So it's like, back that up. The 2 of Wands talks about choices, or the inability to make them. It also talks about if you have any jealous friends or people that don't mean you so well, Gemini, they want to be you. Okay. The 2 of Wands, if it's challenging or what we're facing, and our Queen of Wands is not, your energy, and it's someone else that is like putting in a lot of work to do what it is you do, or something like that. It's kind of like a copycat. Now, I don't judge my Geminis. So that is giving me shadow energy from an outside third party. If it is you, Gemini, that may need a little bit more confidence to move forward, probably in a creative project or relationship toward entrepreneurship, or somewhere in the areas of where the Queen of Wands at, right? The 2 of Wands just says the Queen of Wands actually says to have more confidence, to feel whole and it's going to help with your influence. So if you're looking for more people to pay attention, or if you want more clients, more views, more likes, or just more energy where you feel kind of like dominate in a certain area, it's going to take you choosing once and for all to move forward with the initial idea, or move when you're sparked by the energy, Gemini. Because we could think about it, and we're so intelligent sometimes. And I could say we, because I have Gemini in my chart, so y'all chill. We can think about it, and we're so intelligent. We can go A through B, how this gonna start, how it's gonna work out, and in our heads, it ain't even worth motion because I done figured it out. I done experienced it in my mind, and I know how far it's gonna go because we're just super smart. But that's what leads to all this stuff just being right there, especially if you don't feel accomplished and possibly missing opportunities that are important to you, like deep down inside. So I think that that's cool. There may be a new beginning in the near future for some of you. And as I said that, my hand went to the Two of Wands, and I didn't even like intentionally put it there like that. So being optimistic is going to help. Like, your energy is very important. I'm not a doctor as far as like medical health. Okay. I am a metaphysical science, right? But so I said that to say, if you have any issues with certain teas, your digestive system, or if you have a diet your doctor put you on, don't listen to me. But I was going to recommend for others, if you drink tea, put a little cinnamon in it. And then they even have cinnamon teas, mint teas. So for some of us, it's just about the energy, because there's a new beginning that we may need the optimism or the energy to move forward when we really don't feel like it. And what's this? You got two cards. Because there may be a little bit of stagnance or hesitancy. Okay. Look at that. This is a confirmation. If somebody, sometimes you need that. And I'm not going to just blame Geminis. My clients, when I was doing consultations, it was usually an earth or an air sign. And for some of you, there's strong fire in your chart. I would also check Sagittarius and Leo with this here. But it was like, can you pull a card or channel some messages and tell me if this is guaranteed to work? And it's like, I ain't going to tell you no, I won't do it. But I'll set a disclaimer that if your guides, or the one God, or whoever we all misnaming, right, is putting you on a path to get you to be more confident, or show you how much you want something, or why they ain't responding to you because of your own thoughts, actions, and if you going through some things with some higher ups, it's not a gifted starseed, what do you call them, light worker on this planet that's gonna pull what you want, and you get like to cheat areas of life where life don't want you to cheat at, right? So if it's a long wind short, if you're the type of person that, I don't know, lacks energy, lose confidence, and might need a push right now, this is a yes. It also talks about the initial idea. So this was getting the initial idea. Look at that. With the Two of Wands, right? She got two wands. One is behind her, like an emergency glass break. And the other one she has in front of her, like it guided her through the night and got her where she needed to be in the daylight, right? But there's one behind her just in case. She ain't need it. So some of you guys may feel like, well, I don't need it. I got like salt on here. Don't worry about it. It's kosher. I like a lot of salt. Not to eat because it's not healthy, but me, my crystals, and it's a long story. We'll talk about it another day. Okay. So someone may feel, I don't need it, or it's not that important. And it's like, I don't know if that's coming from a healthy place, is all I'll say. Cause now I just feel like I'm gonna start preaching at y'all, because like it just feels very familiar. Okay. Like, this is two aces, Gemini. We have the Ace of Wands. We also have the Ace of Cups. So this is newness when it comes to finances, entrepreneurship, or meeting someone new. Both meeting someone new with the two aces. However, the Ace of Cups could also talk about this Two Wands for you is a new idea and new feelings about something. So your passion and your feelings possibly returning, or another person possibly returning. For those of you that are more on the less traditional, darker side of life, I will say, if there's a person who is jealous or has negative feelings towards you, I feel like their negativity is being washed out and trumped by whatever higher vibrational spiritual beings that are working in your favor. Okay, so what does spirit have for Gemini? You got the 6 of Wands. See, that's what I'm talking about. Because I was like, here's 4, 5, and then 6. And that's why she's holding that 6. It talks about awareness, appreciation, attention, finding the needle in the haystack. For some of you, an idea that you're sitting on is your needle in the haystack and your new beginning, because this food card keeps coming back up. I love that for you, Gemini, and I do hope that it helps. Until next time. Happy birthday, Cancers. Now, I pull these cards out the deck and start shuffling, and I need to, even if I don't use the beginning, I need to have the record already on, because magical things happen and I'd like for y'all to see it. These 2 cards fell into my hand. So for some of you guys, it may be a Gemini that you're dealing with. I used a totally different deck, and they also had the 6 of Wands, or just watch where it falls in your chart. There was also a choice or a decision involved. Okay. Now, this could be due to Uranus in Gemini, so it came up in a Gemini reading, but could also be influential to you, Cancer. So hear me out. Before we get to the tarot cards, which you see in my hand, I just want to give a quick little horoscope update for you guys on what could be affecting you mostly, or what you may be able to expect in July 2025. All right, so self-development may be important, as well as your personal goals, high energy. The Venus transit is there, so spending time alone and processing your feelings may be very important. And for others of you, it may be a feeling with someone else, marriage or love. But for traditional, just Cancer overall, spending time alone, processing feelings. It talks about potentially having vivid dreams. Your life path and career may become significantly important, and a full bloom of perspective on projects and relationships. And see, that's what that it's like. Your intuition going to tell you to chill, go within, spend some time alone, and through that full bloom of a perspective on project or relationship. It just depends on what's important to you guys. For some of you, it may affect both areas, and for others of you, whichever is most significant. Okay, so the Lovers, outside of the 2 of Cups, is the most lovey love card that you can get. It also talks about our choices and our decisions. So some of you guys, there may be multiple options when it comes to love and a relationship. It doesn't mean multiple people, but it might. Okay. Now we have another card where we have the Sun. So when I look at these people, and they're trying to get me banned, cover her up. Jesus Christ. These people have grown. That now spirit is involved more so in the beginning, and so just be Jesus Christ, her and her body parts. Okay. Spirit may be involved more so in the beginning of the situation, where it could be a friendship, it could be more about intimacy, emotions, and feelings. But I feel like as you guys mature, there's more grounding energy or something more physical about it. So we'll pull some cards to talk about it now. Maybe Spirit gave me this card just to do like this with it, because child, her and what is it? She's indisclosed or whatever. Now, some of you could have children. So those of you that may be in co-parenting situations together or in separation from each other, there may be some updates or information on rewards. If you're trying to put your child in a specialty school, private school, they just like college, they issue out, rewards or letters of acceptance and things of that nature. If that ain't your cup of tea, that's fine. But for some of us, there it is. And I even got a clarifier after I said it. Now, there may be a conclusion. There's definitely a choice. It also talks about a new perspective and a new way of thinking. If there's any drama or chaos in situations, that's why you're cutting people off left and right. And possibly, putting healthy boundaries up, even when it comes to your children. Okay. Ooh, the King of Pentacles is always, like the Queen of Pentacles, going to do what's practical. So I feel like there could be communication, and this communication could come from this university, this school, a teacher, a professor. It also is just a person that could be very wise and intelligent, but that's very interesting. Okay. So it talks about a choice or a selection. And if this is in a marriage or a relationship, this person is a provider. Okay, Cancer. So if you have been praying or trying to manifest, okay, because I was going to say meditate on, but that too, on a partner, the King of Pentacles is there for the long term, but it's also a very providing sort of energy, maybe older, mature, and usually not your usual type. Okay, so there may be some communication there. Now let's see why we have this sword up, because you did have the Six of Wands at the bottom of the deck, and we'll talk about it. I'm going to go for, hold on, the Wild Unknown Animal deck, just because I haven't used them yet and there's no confusion, okay, in the message. Let's get a clarifier for our King of Pentacles. Okay. You want to talk. The Stingray. The Stingray asks us to have a backbone. It also talks about like this Kundalini sort of energy. So for some of us, this sword is having a boundary when it comes to someone you could be, I want to say, in spirit knows me. So the King of Pentacles is someone we learned a lesson to, or somebody you got like the soul contract with. There could be some communication and some mixed feelings, okay? Because there's some sort of change here. We got the butterfly. And we also got the golden egg. So this person is probably the person you came into this reading thinking about, if you weren't just here to see what it had to say. I feel like cross-watcher energy. Not going to hold you. So let's get another card. Okay, there's a lot. This one in my hand. We have the Three of Pentacles. So holding, boundaries to people that aren't specifically here for you and your work. I don't care if this is a creative project. Be mindful of those that are known for taking credit, and you do most of the work, but they take credit. Just be mindful of situations where everybody doesn't get an equal slice, because here's the knife that's doing the slicing. All right. So that's a decision that'll have to be made, equal slices, or where we're focusing at. That could be life versus personal, social versus me time, however you have to do that. Now, I was spot on when it came to this mentor or something like that. So for some of you, there is a mentor or just someone in the situation who's very clever and charismatic. Okay. I feel like for some of you, it's a mentor though, because the crow picks and there's no question. Right? Crow energy. And sometimes even the raven says that you were chosen. Even if you doubt it, I make no mistakes. And so when the student is ready, the teacher appears type energy. So some of you may have good energy or just a destiny for writing. There could be a collaborative act when it comes to like merchants and commerce and writing. Some of you guys may be good at like training packages, like how you start a job and they give you all that paperwork. That's journalism. That is like a collaborative act in mainstream market or something like that. Or you could be a blogger, you could be on social media, but some of you guys may even be taking courses or classes, and out of nowhere, just this Kundalini energy, I'm just going to decide to do what makes me happy or what source is pointing me toward. And for some of you, it could be a career in writing or journalism, and then meeting someone that's in your niche. I still think it happens. You could meet a person and it may involve some romance, but there's just extra attributes that the situation has, or they have some experience or some tools or a couple of dollars to help you along your way. Okay, because look, it's going to help you along your way with the Wheel of Fortune and the Page of Cups. So let's see more about this person. Gemini got this card. This is some sort of new, yes, this is like a new relationship. This is also a new endeavor when it comes to entrepreneurship. And for some of you guys, Libra may be involved. Others of you, this is like more upper echelon, where you have a connection to an ascended master, an archangel of some sort, and there's some communication coming in that's going to help you, and you guys are going to do some collaborating, right? So it's like the teacher is beyond us, you're the student, and something is to come of that. But if this is a person for some of you, you're single for a reason. I'll say that. All right. Unless it's like some sort of financial gain, okay, or a very materialistic sort of little shindaku, you could use it to help you get to where you need to go, and nobody's going to judge you. But just be mindful of any emotional or subconscious damage that this could bring. It also talks about releasing old emotions, all right, that this person could have caused you to, what do they call it? Crash out, right? There could be some, I don't want to say bad blood, but some mixed emotions or some subconscious. They ain't my favorite. This, if it's like that, but this is your energy, you can take it. And this is why some time alone, okay, to get your process and your feelings may be important, because I think this situation is like mixed emotion-y. And I see why. Okay. And I'll leave that where it is. Again, happy birthday, Cancers. And I hope that it helped. Leos, welcome to your reading. Thank you guys for tuning in. Before we get to the tarot, I'll give you a brief overview of your personalized horoscope for Leo, specifically for July. Past emotional issues could come up where it feels like a slow burn month, because that ain't really y'all energy, and take it easy. Personal downtime may be good in your private life. Venus enhances your appeal though, so while you on that, you get an attention and people want you to come out and play. Okay, so a work rest balance and taking care of your daily routines may be of essence. Large plans and goals could be under review, and just watch your words and be constructive. And it sounds like just like what I said. So in those moments, Aries also got that. So I think it's like a fire thing. They didn't get that energy verbatim, but stay out their business. I'm just saying it could be a fire thing. Personal power and influence increases. Okay, so there's that. Bottom of the deck, the patience card. All right, patience. Slow and steady wins the race. Okay, we don't want to bust any vessels. What do you have for my gorgeous Leos? It's almost your season. I ain't gonna rush Cancers, but I love me some Leos, honey. Wherever it is in your chart, I believe. Let's get some cards for my Leos. First card out, unstable efforts. We got the 7 of Swords. So we could be dealing with mysteries, just something that might not make sense. It also talks about something being held back and reserved. There may be somebody in your environment that isn't telling you the whole story. There could be situations that you weren't fully communicating, because Spirit already told me that past emotional issues and just feeling like we're at a slow burn could be Leo's energy. So Leo, have you been holding back energy or emotions or how we feel, or just any bit of information from your partners, friends, and family members? If not, it just says that it could be in the environment. Now, unstable efforts coming up just says we're not going to go like too hard and put all of our eggs in a basket, because July is mostly about perspective, as well as the influence and attention you may be receiving, and like self-reflecting. For you, Leo, it's not about like, launch that business and write that book and all that kind of stuff, because the energy may fluctuate. And like I said, there's a little bit of some sort of mystery in the environment. It might be a girl. She might be an air sign. Or it may be an older woman. It also could be legal issues. So if there are any situations, okay, where this is the Queen of Swords, but these are a lot of swords, so don't get me wrong. This energy is kind of like an entrapment, and I don't think Leos like to feel entrapped. Okay, so if we got some man killers in the environment, can I say that? Like, I don't even know what that means. It just means like really strong women that are bossy. I don't even know. But if you have some of those energies in your environment, just be mindful, which is due to some new influence and attraction that you're receiving. And this could be a guy or a girl. I'll say that. It's just their approach is less mature, because the King of Swords is more mature. And usually when his mind is made, the decision is made, he cold shouldering. The Queen of Swords, sometimes in a shadow energy, could be one who wants revenge. It's kind of like a heightened, more shadowy Queen of Cups energy, where I demand an apology or I'm off with your head, right? allegedly the justice system works the same. So if there are any legalities or any secrets or anything hidden, the transits could bring about, a review of some sort. And then just the luck of someone stepping on your toes, or Leo, if you stepping on any bodies, it's like you know how people say you got the right one type deal. Some of that. Otherwise, on a more positive note, the Queen of Swords is a receiver and she's facing forward. So we're not in the past. We don't have any issues, anxieties, or worries about the future. But in the present moment, she has her sword drawn, okay, to any deception. And she's going to use her intuition. And when she does, it's a wrap. So just be mindful of playing games, okay? And playing games is going to cost, they're not waiting. If there's a delay, or a power struggle in a situation, I don't think it's just the best energy for a relationship. She's definitely not going to feel it. And Leo, this is more of a fire energy here. So it's like establishing our strength. There may be some unstable efforts due to our approach or who we're dealing with. So it's like, don't argue with a fool or a crazy lady, okay? No shade. I'm going to pull some additional cards. Let's see. Now, if this is affecting you in your finances, work life, or just anything revolving around your stability or livelihood, we'll pull a card. And if it's relationship, pull a card. Or if it's you, we're going to pull a card. All right. We have learner. Okay, see, you're going to learn today. Didn't I say that? It's never too late to learn something new. Whether getting back to the academy, I've never liked that word, or just studying on your own, a new skill or knowledge brings efficiency, okay? So we're not going to be frustrated. Be open and receptive to feedback, all right? Let me take one for this. See? Learning that lesson. So here's the learner. Oh, my gosh. See, it's like I be trying to have, like, Disney Channel, straightforward, very general little conversations, but it's like I'm a channeler and I can specifically get the idea or see the picture, and this is definitely what I pictured. Just, it doesn't have to be like toxic or violent or just like overly, taboo, but I just felt, like I said, a review, a lawyer, legalities, an ex, the lady at the customer service ring out when you go to the grocery store. It's just like, watch it, okay? Someone is willing to share experiences in their field that will motivate you to do better, okay? Your work and teachings inspire others. So that's the good news. Now, see, it ain't all doom and gloom. It may be about skills. So mentors, learning, and skills. There you have it. Now, if you feel any otherwise, that's why those of you that it was advised to release past emotional issues, take some personal downtime, is because for you guys to have your abundance or whatever benefits are coming to Leo this month, being constructive, watching our words is going to bring about some sort of personal power, and your influence increases, as well as, like I said, large plans and goals are like under review. Okay, so let's see if we can get some additional advice as far as like any other energies, zodiac signs, or clarifications. Let's start with the 7 of Swords for you, Leo. Okay, I saw you. We have focus, conceptualizing, and strategy. See, strategy with the 7 of Swords and the Queen. On a chessboard, the Queen can move wherever she wants. Okay, so you could be waiting on somebody and have some questions about how they moving. If it's like a little longer than you expected, she get home late or didn't call you right back, and there could be some suspicions. Others of you, it points to your 3rd house, which is Gemini energy, communication, still same thing, transportation, and local community. Sort of the same energy. We have initiation, spark, and vision. Literally, the 3 of Wands does talk about your vision and a spark. and initiating some sort of change where we don't go left or right. We take this road less traveled. All right. Your North Node, that's big. We have destiny, purpose, and activation. So for some of you, it's just there's a thing that you're going to learn in the near future, and this person or this place, this experience is going to teach you about it. And I feel like you're going to be doing that moving forward. I don't want to say, I feel like you're going to be doing it for the rest of your life. No, it's just something that is new to you. And right now, a mystery. You may be doing something totally different from what you're doing now in the next month. So that's kind of cool. We have, it just won't let us go. Now she could, I've had man say, it's Pisces, right? Neptune energy. But a water, I'm going to get beat up. I was going to say a water sign is a water sign. I don't know why I felt like if not the Queen of Swords, this is definitely like strong, shadowy Queen of Cups energy. Doesn't have to be though, but you do have karma, shadow, and secrets. And we have Pisces, okay? And the Seven of Swords, right? With our Queen of Swords. Okay, so there's a combination of things, a release of some sort, the soul, consciousness, and the mind. So that's still connected to the Queen of Cups and like that Cancer energy, but it's like different for you, Leo. So you may not be experiencing like the emotions and the socializing or relationship, energies that other signs may be experiencing. I figure it's just like a stronger, more airy, energy. So let's see. Okay, yeah. So it's like Gemini, Cancer, Leo energy, where I know we're in Cancer season, but it feels like airy, right? And then we're moving into your energy. So that's what I have. And I do hope that it helps. Virgo, strong for a social life. That is the energy for July. We are going to get your cards together. Thank all of you guys for joining in today as we get started. I want to say that as far as your potential horoscope future prediction, look at that. You got the Wheel of Fortune already coming out for you. So we have fate and destiny, and these things are beyond your control and for a good reason. Okay, the clock is on fire. It is your time, and I love that. It talks about your horoscope not today, for the month of July. Happiness, fruitful cooperations, unpredictability. Oh, here is the Wheel of Fortune. Look, unpredictability in your career, but I didn't feel that was bad. We have great chance for romance, and possibly around July 10th because of some of the transits. And it also asks so that we don't interfere with any of this goodness, to deal with now any guilt. I don't know what that's about, but you should, if it resonates, from the past. So that energy could be coming up. And it also talks about social popularity and emotional pleasures. And so you and Leo definitely have the popularity contest being won right now when it comes to July. And I love that for you guys. Possibly a new opportunity, or you may have recently started some new opportunities. The Fool in shadow could also represent like a bad idea. So maybe if there were any bad ideas from the past, those are the things that we may be releasing guilt on. Okay. We have the Hermit. The Hermit usually sets out on a mission. This is literally your energy, Virgo. So I feel that this is a confirmation with Spirit that you are currently on path. Okay. So my Virgos are definitely on path. And maybe isolating, okay? If so, it's because you have a lack in interest in the things that are in your environment, or just felt that some things were unobtainable, and instead of taking it negatively or seeing it as a failure, becoming content and learning to move on, So there's that. Let's get one more. Now, if we're ghosting and kind of like putting down things and not returning to them, Temperance is here to say that balance may be needed. Okay. If we are neglecting relationships, self-care, priorities, kids, child, proper diet, whatever it is that may need more of our attention, Temperance here is some fire up under our belts. This is Sagittarian energy, where it asks us, and Virgo, you're good at this, to put things in balance, to make time for it all, or to pour some of this out here and put it over there. Okay. But it seems like for some of us, it's if I can't have all of it or figure out which one I'm going to choose in the Seven of Cups, it's giving me like Eight Cups vibe where we didn't pick one. Okay. And I can see why, because the Four of Cups says we didn't like the offers, or they didn't like us, whichever way. We have the Eight of Wands at the bottom of the deck. So maybe there's some mixed emotions or some feelings where something got away or things sped up. Then there was a lot of communication at some point, and then maybe communication went cold. There could be a reconciliation. Like somebody may have just felt, I didn't think you liked me, or I didn't think you liked me, right? And the situation went cold. Possible reconciliation, but those are for you who are interested in love. If you ain't interested in love, just focus on other parts of the conversation, okay? Now, if you're interested on finances and career, I will definitely pull a card for you. Sorry about the noise. Let's get one for my Virgos, July 2025. We have, you are becoming more mature in handling your finances. Taking responsibility is exciting but challenging, and it's time to be dependable is what you have, Virgo. You also have taken a chance. All right. We have chance and change. Okay. So chance is back there. Change is in the future. It's time for a leap of faith in this situation. Be more courageous in dealing with your finances. It may be uncertain, but may lead to great results. And then we have a lot of gold behind it. Okay. So we may have hit some abundance, financial security, or continue maybe an investment that allows us to continue to grow it. Okay, so not just saving money, but maybe investing in it by maintaining stability in your career and finances, multiple streams of income. So that was very long-winded, but multiple streams of income. Some of you guys could, either way, however that works for you. I've taken a chance on something. I was making an investment in something. Did it pan out the way you wanted it to? Do we have some guilty feelings about that? Or. Okay. Let's see if there are any other signs here with my Virgos outside of Sagittarius and Cancer. Okay. Is that Aquarius? We have origins and inner child. Okay. That's a conversation to be had, because this does talk about like neglect. And so for some of us, there may be issues inside or around us that involve the inner child, our origins, where something started. We done drifted off from that, and there could be some apologies, some maturation, some mending. Okay, you took a chance somewhere else, and you glow up. Others of you may just still be in your coat with your hoodie on. You ain't really popped out like that yet, and that's fine. We have Gemini, which is multifaceted, balanced, and curious. So some of us, it's just like curiosity did not kill the cat. We set out to go find and seek, and that's usually the Hermit, is where something needs to be done. Only I can do it, right? Somebody else ain't doing it, but I need to do it. So if you have children, as we talk about inner child and origins, maybe some of you find it important to establish those beginnings, or to not be a part of the generational issues that, others could be experiencing. And thank you for that. All right. We have innovation, rational, and humanitarian. So some of your investments that really pay off, where we talk about stability and maturation, and taking chances or taking risks when it comes to your financials. Okay. It may yield great results. So these aren't bad cards. Just know when to hold them and when to fold them. There may be Aquarius in your chart, or an Aquarius that you could be reconciling with, because the Temperance card is usually my reconciliation if a situation was abandoned and walked away from. If you are dealing with an air sign, for sure, because you got Gemini and Aquarius, and others of you, it could be a water sign, because you have refreshing, mysterious, and you got a heart. And then you have desire, eroticism, and all kind of other mature words on this card. Okay. For my Virgoians, I'm going to pull an angel answer card for you guys, because I love them. So ask your question, or we'll just see what the angels have in store for you. Angels, what do you guys have for Virgo? All right. we have there's something better. And I just intuitively wanted to put this card here. So whether it's the word, the message that came out of the card, or the picture, is just this very flirtatious looking chica. There's something better. The situation will improve, and it just says don't stop. So don't stop at the first one that calls your name. Not sure what that means for you. Oh, okay. The situation will improve was the second card. So we have change and chance. It's like some of us may be waiting on a change, all right? And we have already took risk. It's like, where are the results? I don't know why these cards make your lights shine like that, but the angels done sat on my desk, and I can't do nothing about it, okay? So if there's been some changes, or you took a chance and you wondering where are the results in this maturation and all this stuff you talking about that I get to invest in something else later. These cards, do you see it's just glowing? Jesus Christ. The situation will improve. And if you notice, like, well, how is it going to improve? Well, if you can see beyond the flash here, it says big happy changes for you, Virgo. So I love that. I do hope that it helps. And we're going to work on dimming this light. Hello, Libras. It is your turn as we get shuffled out really quick. Your horoscope vibe for July 2025 says that it brings you supportive influences at work. Okay, hoot hoot for you. Encouraging collaboration and problem solving. So your diplomatic nature kind of helps resolve conflicts and fosters cooperation. I love that. And Libra, you're good at that because everybody else is, kind of like dealing with emotions or the past or their sole purpose or whatever the case, no shade. And here you are with your ability to be a Libra. All right. So new projects may surface through networking and team efforts. I love that. Keep task oriented and, stabilize your energy and your schedule may be important. Ooh, okay. I had to make sure. I had to make sure, baby, that these cards were in reverse before I accepted a Queen of Wands in the reverse for you, Libra, because I was going to say, baby, stay in the house. Okay. So, Spirit, is it that you want me to start with this first? Okay. I noticed this. Okay. Spirit always give us goodies. Now, this is her chair, her seat. Usually when a king or a queen takes a seat, that's a big deal. Like, my seat, don't sit in my seat. I love that. So it's like you paved your own road. There was one way to go, another way to go. Big Libra energy on being confident and standing 10 toes on taking the road less traveled, forging it forward and being the leader to do so. The good news about this is there are others in the environment that truly believe in you because they are 100% behind this brother or this sister, and they going too. Okay, so it's given like whether you want to see the Hierophant and the nature of it, because I won't say him or her, to just have influence and leadership and diplomacy. That is like your bread and butter, that you may have the strength or the power to get people or things to kind of go your way in July. So Spirit is like, okay, my puppies agree, the dogs outside agree. All right, Libra, I'm liking this. Okay, so your Seven of Swords was actually in the reverse. Okay. So with all this networking that we're talking about, my Queen of Wands was not in the reverse, but the Seven of Swords was. Okay. The Seven of Swords in reverse doesn't have to mean like amplified negativity from what the upright Seven of Swords means. It usually could indicate like hidden motives or lies and secrets being exposed, or if it's self-deception, you may be lying to yourself or avoiding accountability when it comes to equal give and take. So that means I got some cross watchers up in here, Libra, that may be holding me accountable for what you putting in or putting out of relationships. Now, if your strength is work and finances, this may not be in your career, or it could be. Like, you got little disciples and followers, but this is how they could truly feel in the background. Or if work has taken priority and precedent over personal relationships, they may feel that, my Libras are avoiding accountability. I don't know. It may be a female in your life, right, that's avoiding accountability. Or I'm speaking to a female dealing with a Libra, and that's what they're doing. but a deceptive behavior. It could backfire though, and it does talk about consequences if they get caught. Now, the Six of Coins says that to get caught, someone has to be there to have some sort of observation or discernment when it comes to giving and receiving. Who's asking, who's receiving, and who's not, right? And is it Libra holding the scale, or is it Libra giving it out, right? Because usually the person who's doing the giving also holds the scales to say, I'm giving based on what I've received. So just be mindful of that. Some people, if you have a more creative, colorful background, it could be like an eye for an eye type deal. So just be mindful of that. But letting go of overthinking is a positive when it comes to mental clarity. And sometimes my air signs need that. If we're suspicious or paranoid about what we've done in the past, some of the transits could be bringing that energy back up for us now. A truth that comes to the surface, secrets being revealed, and even infidelity being exposed could be in the environment, where it could be something as simple as hidden feelings being acknowledged, or on the negative side, that deceptive behavior kind of comes to light. Now, if it's office politics, hidden agendas, or underhanded tactics get exposed, and you may need to stop cutting corners or avoiding risky, unethical behavior, because Uranus, Saturn, Neptune, and a few more other planets, as well as Mercury, goes into retrograde in July. See, your diplomacy is where we're going to take that calm seat at. I feel like anything else may not be in our best interest. All right. So owning up to our mistakes and realigning with your authentic self. Now, I will say that this could bring about some conversations. It may also bring about some anger, animosity, or jealousy, just depending on what your life has been like and what the retrograde, could run back for you. I'm so sorry that my dogs are kind of like excited about maybe the fireworks that are being worked in the background, Libra. I'm going to take some additional astro cards for you, but this was pretty good, pretty clean cut. Libra energy, like, be straightforward with us. I will. Don't worry about it. You guys have Juno, which is partnerships. See, that's big. And see, you got the two birds. So we got some. I knew the way I was explaining it that I'm being fair to my Libras, because I'm down for whatever sign I'm reading for. That's my job. But at the same time, I felt that cross-watcher energy, or the other people involved in the situation, and I feel like they could be a water sign. If not, Neptune has a strong influence in any type of that Seven of Swords energy, because it's ironic that Neptune came out in the reverse also, where it talked about vision. So our suspicions and not seeing things clearly, or just, again, to avoid the chaos in the environment, any risky behavior, unethical behavior, any tactics, okay, is still there. All right. Now, partnerships are here, and the Queen of Wands is like an amazing partner to have. Honestly, she is the type of wife that makes the lunch before the husband goes to work and iron the clothes, right? A very beautiful energy, a very fertile energy, very confident. And I don't feel like this energy would come from her unless she feels that it was warranted, Libra. So just be mindful of that and who you're dealing with throughout this retrograde, okay? We have North Node, and it talks about the future. So I ain't gonna lie, the first thing came to my mind was getting what you deserve. Now, that could be a payout for your contribution to your input on a creative project, where your leadership allows for you to have more than enough to disperse. You may be in control of who gets what, or maybe even get a bigger piece of the pie. Okay, so just be mindful of that. If there are multiple people in the environment, this situation could be due to that. And like, you're working on a group project, but then you hire additional consultants and they have to be paid too. So it's not like just you and your partners. It's whoever they brought on and whoever you brought on. And that could get a little sticky if it's not on the up and up. But for most of you, where it's on the up and up, cool. For others of you, be mindful of Cancer, Leo, Capricorn, where it falls in your chart. We have immerse, shine, and achieve. So I feel like a lot of you don't have time or have any type of connection to the drama. If you do, don't feel bad. There's nothing to feel bad about, because some of it is other people in the environment, and others of you should be happy to have discovered this information and got the heads up. But If there is a Capricorn in your environment, Leo energy is spoke about watching our words. So just be mindful that if you are dealing with the Capricorn or where Capricorn falls in your chart, to use the better Libra energy and not, if you have Mars in other areas of your chart, don't let it get the better of you, because it's coming in the center with a number 5. Fives talk about challenges and change. We do have shine. So it's like, I'm shedding light. It's her. I'm finna act up type deal. So just be mindful of that. If it's a third party situation, it's somebody that may be on the emotional, spiritual side, and it's another person that may just be, on the let's progress and succeed together side. And I don't know how that works out for you, Libra, but you have to leave us some comments, because now we're all invested to see how this goes. Okay. Bottom of the deck, you have Gemini, where it talks about cross pollinating, and that's exactly what this story sounds like. And I'm going to leave it there. I hope that it helps. Scorpio, it is your turn. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're going to get started. Firstly, to just drop some gems as far as your horoscope is involved for July 2025. Your consciousness and mind will be expanding. That's what it's saying. Due to a lot of the transits in your natal chart, possibly wherever Scorpio falls. If you wonder, like, where is going to be expanding about? I don't know. Lead with what calls you rather than follow the fear that controls you was a message, and a reminder that you are limitless. So, Spirit, you're welcome to this reading, and we are going to get started with Scorpio. You guys are starting with the 6 of Pentacles. In the 6 of Pentacles, we got somebody receiving, and it's kind of clear who. Okay. And the scales of justice are on the other side. So we may be weighing the pros and cons when it comes to reciprocity. It also talks about this new relationship. Okay. And if you haven't started the new relationship, just be mindful of what you've learned in the past about equal give and take. All right. If you're in a bind or any financial situations that may be uncomfortable, this card always suggests to reach out for support or to know that there's a friend. Okay. Somebody could be in the environment to help. All right. If you want extra funds to start a creative project, or you are kind of like timid about dating because it's like, where I'm going to take them. It just says that things will work out and you may get the resources that you need to do those things. Okay. Now, the issue is having the confidence to believe that, and also doing some research to get the support that you need. There may be some questions that's being asked about, the giving and the receiving, or a vetting process. Okay. So, Scorpio, if you've had any issues in the past or karmic lessons that you've learned from, I feel like the best advice for you, or what you're facing in this situation, could be to vet the partner that has the capacity to be who you need in the future, even if they don't have everything. Okay. Now you also have the Fool. That's crazy. I think who had the Fool at the bottom of the deck? Leo. Okay. So you could be dealing with a fire sign. Doesn't have to be, but the Fool definitely talks about a new beginning. However, I'm noticing that this page, this vetting, these questions, this inquisitiveness, this curiosity is about the future. However, the Fool is like wanting to start something that may have an involvement in the past, or fixing something from the past, figuring something out from the past, asking some questions. Okay. So if any of those words struck a nerve, there could be a return of some sort in resources, finances, information, questions, curiosities, and concerns, child, because we got 3 or 4 retrogrades that are happening in July, and it could pull up on you like that. And at the bottom of the deck, you still manage to have this Ace of Wands, which is just receiving a yes. I feel like that moves you guys out of the past that you're facing toward the future, but there's still a need to do some research and get curious about it, to like be a student, to be flexible. Okay. Now, I know that arguing with a fool doesn't help, but you got the Fool on one side, and then you have someone who is still a student in what they're learning. And I'll just leave that at that, because Scorpio, sometimes your readings are very interesting, And if you connect with Leo and Leo had some similar messages, and also to refrain from their words, I just wanted to put that out there to be mindful on how blessings work, how good energy, good dharma, good karma. It's like, don't argue with a fool, right? You asking for higher vibes and a better life, softer life, whatever you asking for, Scorpio, whatever you want to fix, resolve, a second chance on. It's just like, be mindful where your energy goes and where your energy flows. When it comes to others that they don't know as much as you, like if you guys are not in the same boat, that's how it's gonna look to the outsider. So I don't know what that means for you, but you might. And if you don't, that's okay. Let it sit. Take what resonates. Scorpio, investigate. Yeah. Okay. So I'm on to something. You also have the number 8. The strength card is the number 8, which has a Leo connection. Some of you guys, it could be Capricorn or a retrograde, because we're going to have a billion of them. There are at least 4. I do believe. You got Uranus, you got Saturn, you got Mercury. I know Venus is doing a thing. Something is doing something in Cancer. Click on the horoscope overview if you want verbatim, and it's not that long. I just go over the actual days and the actual transits and the energy that's affecting all of us on the planet. Okay. But we have review, resources, and introspection. Okay. The 6 of Pentacles, it's like what we putting out, what we getting back. The Scorpio, your own energy right here. And my finance reading signifies debt. Okay. Now it doesn't mean negativity, or, I owe somebody owe you. Somebody could owe you some money. And you could be asking them when you're going to get it back. And then getting it back allows you to do something else you want to do. And Spirit is just like, watch what you do with it. Okay. See, it's like, I did not say that. Yes, you did. Okay. So we have your second house of resources may be under review. And it could be simple as, if you're applying for something, you filling out an application, or they asking what is your household income, because they still do a census in your neighborhood, child. This is just confirmation from your cousin, your grandma, God itself, or Spirit saying, watch this lady videos, because yes, it's me. And when you get that letter in the mail, the first, second, third week of July, that phone call and that interview, you'll think about it. Okay. And then come back and then give more trinkets. But that's your card in the center. Scorpio, if it's you that's going to be investigating or need to investigate and ask more questions, like I said, it may be somebody coming to you. And because they're a friend or from your past and asking for something, just be clear on the rules. That's all I can say. Now, more about this fool, and why is the fool facing the past? So a lot of reasons why, okay? We have a relationship. We have your 7th house. And it's also connected to the number 45, if that's significant. So there is a relationship of some sort. I feel like the fool in a relationship, it talks about newness, but it also talks about something that may be someone who may be inexperienced. And I feel like if they bring any baggage, it's just their lack of experience kind of is going to make them naive in the area of equal give and take, or maybe they don't have a lot to give. So Scorpio, that could be significant in your relationships. For others of you, the fool facing the past is connected to your 4th house, which is home. Okay. Literally your house, or just like where you feel comfortable and happy and free. Okay. So this fool is probably ready to jump and take a leap, and be fair with this person, because the 6 of Pentacles says that they could be the giver in the situation. And I ain't trying to be funny, but we all know Scorpio. So Spirit, ooh, you and that y'all and Leo, I don't know what to say, but you got Mars in the number 22. It talks about taking action. So Spirit is like, yeah, that's cute, but make sure we're taking action and staying focused where we need to be for the most part when it comes to investigating, giving and receiving, asking questions, and some sort of like communication. Okay. You have Mars. Be mindful of where it may fall in your chart. We have the 6th house, sustainability. So when it comes to the tension, if that's the arguing with a fool and justice from the outside, don't know who is who. This little lady, another master number, right? Because we have mastered, what word do I want to use? It's like we've mastered turning up, crashing out, whatever the case. This 44 just gives us a different level of balance. And then this talks about balance. So it's like balancing our finances, okay? Being new and kind of like not carrying baggage from the past, making peace with it, right? And then in the future, being more optimistic, inquisitive, curious, a student of, right? And just stepping into this new, fresh reality that you're manifesting for yourself, but also balancing out the chakras, child. Her mind, it's like the wheel. You guys did have the Wheel of Fortune, I believe, at the bottom of the deck. And if you didn't, it came to my mind because the last person did. So Gemini could be significant. And also, this is crazy. Capricorn got this. This card don't even belong here. So for some of you, controlling your emotions, this is the King of Cups energy. This is Scorpio. So Spirit is like, girl, here is this card, child. This is controlling the emotions and trying not to have so many. And I know like it's no Scorpio on this planet that would like for me to say that to them, but it just fell out of my mouth. So I'm kind of blame Spirit for that. This is definitely about controlling like our self-control, anger, people pleasing, over giving, over expecting, and then don't say nothing and then crashing out when it gets too much. I'm gonna leave it because King of Cups is Scorpio energy, child. But there could also be like a Gemini in the environment or someone watching you. Ooh, who's watching? I am. That's why Mars is right there. Oh, I'm watching. Damn, Scorpio, what y'all be doing? I'm watching you. What do you do? It's all good. Okay. And then what happened? Jesus Christ, I'm nosy. Let's see what happened. The past happened. The journey happened. Okay. A lot of master numbers. That is crazy. So if you want to take some notes, if you journal, if you watch other readings and put the dots together, because I know I'm not the only one that got multiple readers that I like, or pull cards for yourself. Mars is significant. Okay. Your 6th house is significant, as well as your South Node. And see, Scorpio, that is your energy because you guys have a very heavy, like, I don't know, past life energy to me. That's just what I get. So for the start to be from the past, and it was like all good, but then the question asking and the Scorpio being Scorpio could lead to some sort of change, Scorpio. And I think I was real nice about how I put this because now intuitively the way I think about it, Spirit kind of saying chill. Spirit, you didn't say chill. It is kind of saying chill, right? Okay, but Scorpio didn't want to hear that. Got it. Hey, don't shoot the messenger, but I do hope that it helped. Until next time. Sagittarius, it is your turn. All right, we're going to start with our sacred geometry relationship oracle cards because your horoscope review was pointing toward the sacral chakra being important to balance. Also, release what you've carried for too long. And if you hadn't already, click on the horoscope all sign overview. It's real quick. It won't hurt you. It's just going over the actual transits for July. And I feel because your horoscope said release what you've carried for too long, that's because on the 7th of the 7th month, right? Yes, I wanted to say it like that so we can peep the significance. There is a transit that stays in our lives for about 7 years. And it's coming up on the 7th of the 7th month. So us getting that in alignment, put in check, I can say this. It's absolutely going to affect the next 7 to 8 years of your life. But how it affects the next 7 to 8 years is on us. Okay? So Sag, that may be important for you. At the bottom of the deck, and why it's flipped over, I have no idea. You have duality. The frequency of duality supports our ability to gracefully flow with the everlasting movement among all opposites. So if it's been, I don't want to say difficult, but if there has been some challenges in dealing with, things that don't 100% resonate with you, that for some reason, good or bad, you still have to deal with. It could be co-parents, it could be work, just like you got to eat somehow. Just things that may not be your first choice. Going with the flow of those things, because not doing it could be putting a lot of emotional trauma or pressure into your chakras that are creating problems down the line or even blocks. Sensuality does help. Okay, so I don't care how active your intimate life is. Exercise, working out, yoga, meditation, stretching. Okay, and also just reminding yourself, about your human body and being a sensual being and experiencing joy and pleasure from the physical world through our senses. So it's just like sensuality isn't necessarily, sexuality. It just talks about having pleasure through the senses. So stop to smell the roses. I'm going to leave that conspiracy. Like, that made sense, because there could be some frustrations. And for others of you, it may very well be passion. Oh my gosh, that's definitely going to be some passion, or a person in a relationship that you just feel completes you. And I feel like this person is from the past. We're going to pull some cards. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. And I said Jesus Christ. All right. So we're going to put that there. So sensuality and forgiveness. Stopping the smell of the roses may help. Forgiveness may also help your sacral chakra, because like I said, that's where a lot of things are stored at when it comes to our, do's and don'ts, rights and wrongs, wills and wants. That's where the cords and the connections are. So if we forgive some of those connections, we may, hold on, I could do this, long nails or not, cut some of those cords. Yep. If we heal some of those connections, yep, we sure can. And liberate yourself with freedom. Energy of freedom supports our sense of limitless potential and possibility. Okay. Boundless expression and bold exploration is what you have there. And I love that passion reminds you that beneath every intense emotion lies a hidden gem of insight, balance, and calm. It assists us in finding the balance within this intensity, moving us from chaos to the calm of its core, where we can let its long-lasting wisdom fill us up. And I love that. One thing that passion pointed to was forgiveness, when it talked about the hidden gem of insight. Now, if you were to actually take that into consideration, okay, that is one of the key components to what I feel like past life regression and generational issues, as a consultant. I won't say therapist, but if I was helping someone to surf through, and I don't even want to just say overcome, possibly heal, helping someone heal a situation that seemed unforgivable, when you take the insight that come from it, as well as using intelligence, right? I don't want to trigger anybody that feels like you can't tell somebody how to heal and it's okay to be emotional or to never get over something and hate somebody for what they did and cry every day over it. I could do that. Okay. However, it works on my kid and it works for my clients because it worked for me. It doesn't work for everyone. But if you think about it and say, I'm intelligent, I'm an adult, I'm of sound mind, and if I think about something 30 times a day and get mad about it 30 times a day, and I don't watch The Matrix and all kind of other sci-fi movies and don't see that I'm in control somehow of putting myself in a loop, or if you're like a holistic spiritual person and you are consciously having thoughts, interactions, or your own behaviors that give you negative feelings, those negative feelings become chemicals and or pressure in that sacral chakra and literally put in toxins in our bodies because we keep thinking these same thought 27 times a day. So it's like, I'm not telling people how to heal or trying to take the emotions out of it or the credibility from, them being victims. But it's like, if we don't get out of that part of the truth, how do you get out of the loop? Okay, so there we go. Intense emotion is possibly in the environment. It is not easy to forgive while the emotions are tense, but it's a grand opportunity to release yourself from a potentially karmic relationship, cycle, or just loop, okay, where you may be able to stop and smell more roses in the near future. So imagine that if the last 7-8 years of your life hasn't been a bed of roses, what if the next 7 to 8 years were? Okay, Sag, that is what I got. I do hope that it helps, and it's a miracle, waiting for you there if you can do it. All right, Capricorn, it is your turn. Okay, now according to your horoscope, turning your stagnant energy inward and reassessing to balance is important for your dreams as well as karmic debt. So I feel like these 3-4 transits that we have coming up in July, you may have the opportunity to break out of some loops and some cycles if you found yourself in repetitive modes or just got a new place you want to be in life. Okay, now if you start feeling uninspired or stuck, snap yourselves out of it. It's just a transit. Literally, that's what Spirit said. Like, you're going to feel it, but it's only because of your natal chart and when you were conceived and when you were born and where the stars aligned when you was born. But we shouldn't let that interfere with our soul purpose and our plans. And, I was perfectly fine last month, and then now I'm just this other person and I don't even know myself when I look in the mirror. It's like, it's okay to, and kind of normal to be influenced by the transits, but Spirit is saying you don't have to be heavily influenced, especially if you have an advisor and you can kind of pull it back in or tighten your belt up if you start to experience that. Ooh, okay. We got the World card at the bottom of the deck, and it's the administrative intelligence. Okay, it's this already, Capricorn, and I love that about you guys. Let's pull some cards for Capricorn, July 2025. Yes, okay. We have the 7 of Cups at the bottom of the deck, so I don't think we're confused about anything, or possibly just having many suitors. Okay. If there was any chaos and confusion, I feel like we found a way to ground ourselves. The Empress is the elusive intelligence. So where the World card gave us administrative, right? That's more detailed, crossing T's, dotting I's. This is the 7 of Cups energy where I can manifest whatever it is that I want and choose which manifestation I'm bringing in or that I'm going to let sit. Okay, I love that. It is an open mind way of thinking where you have more than enough. It talks about fertility and growth. And for some of you, it could represent a wife, a woman, or just a mature female in your environment. Ooh, with the offer. So there's an age difference if it comes to a relationship. Others of you, I feel like Capricorn, if you're not really with that, I feel stuck, I feel stagnant kind of energy. It just says that there may be a little fling or some flirtation for you in the month of July. And I feel like you guys match in areas of extremes. It's just the extremes are in different areas, right? You have one person that may be very abundant, very secure, very mature, and then you have somebody else that is just very charming and romantic and chivalrous, right? It's like class. Class is not always financial, okay? It's sometimes a behavior, perspective, and attitude. So I feel like matching in class, regardless of what you have materialistically, and that is so cool. Look at that. We got 2 cups, y'all. Now, 1 cup is coming from the divine. So this may be new feelings, new emotions. It could also talk about, for those of you that are mothers and children, there may be, a situation regarding that. All right. And I like that because it's positive. Whatever it is, you could be focused on home and children. And it's maybe you have 2. You could have a younger one, okay, or a baby. And you could also have, usually the knights represent teenagers or something like that. So I think your month, if you connect with that, is just about what's being offered, what we're accepting, when it comes to that. I don't know if it's, preparing to go back to school, go off to school, behaviors within the home, whatever the case may be. But I like that if this is for your finances and careers, there's more than one offer coming in. That's what the 7 of Cups is representing. You have multiple offers, and it's like you already have a lot. Like, if you don't have it physically, you feel like it spiritually, or it's just your energy, and it's so dope. Okay. So yeah, there's a new beginning. And I feel like for some of you, it could even be in the fashion industry. And just be mindful of the little jokers that you meet within that industry, because what they're offering is new, but it's not really guaranteed. So I love that for you. And I'm going to pull some additional cards to see what other signs or energies we have for you, Capricorn. That is so cool. That's like some good energies. Now let's see what the Knight of Cups is representing from us, for us. Okay. The Knight of Cups for Capricorn. We have Leo. That's why it's so chivalrous. We have fun, hobbies, and creativity. I love that. Now let's see from this Ace of Cups, these new feelings or emotions. Maybe you're going to get some new happiness from a new creative project, like something you didn't even know you'd be doing. We have rational, humanitarian, innovative. So Spirit is going to give you so much, like you become a humanitarian. That means that you have more to give. And if you didn't know that, when it comes to your career or personal choices, it's like you don't have to limit yourself. Or if you feel like you're a beginner, or if you keep starting over because your feelings about things change. The Empress is the Queen of Queens. So you don't have to limit yourself to saying, well, I want to do, let's just use, for example, the Queen of Cups would be, I don't know, sometimes she works in the beauty industry, or the Queen of Pentacles could work in healthcare, or the Queen of this and that. It's like you don't have to limit yourself. And there's a way that you could possibly do all things that you're good at, because this is like the Jack of all trade energy. So just be mindful. Okay. Now, as I say that, we got Pisces here. No shade. We got 12th house. So just be mindful that Neptune is also going in retrograde, and it makes us very elusive. And it just, all of us need to be, if I have any Pisces that are watching Capricorn, or if you have strong Pisces in your chart, Capricorn, or if y'all dealing with each other, okay, if that's your Empress, or if you're their Empress, man or woman, let's understand that Neptune is going to be in retrograde, and it could strongly affect those that may have strong Neptune placements, but it's going to affect everybody on the planet. So we have destiny, purpose, and activation. So some of us may be getting sparked and landed on thick about what we want to do in the future. And if it's the Knight of Cups or Pisces, just be mindful. Okay. What else do we have with that, if anything else? Because I don't want to get blocked. We have mutable, versatility, flexibility, adaptability. It's like, okay, I got this. For those of you that are putting multiple crafts, multiple professions, multiple everything that I learned throughout my life, every aspect, that every level that I've completed successfully, and all the suits of tarot, I'm going to like balance that out in a way that is fun and creative. One more for Spirit. We have Saturn, which ironically is also in retrograde, and it talks about discipline, obstacles, and boundaries. So it's like Spirit or Saturn, because Saturn is normally restrictive, Capricorn. So, and that's y'all friends, okay? So I'll say that Aquarius does not like restriction. So if this is a relationship or boundaries between mothers and children, or a queen and her peasants, whatever the case, there's freedom, liberation, and independence. And then we have like this strict traditional, redacted energy. Okay. So where we talked about fun, and then we talked about flexible, there's like, okay, all right. You get that? I know you got that. Now I feel that obstacles, boundaries, discipline, it will be rewarded. Okay. Now, if that talks about, we millennials, a lot of us, and how you go about disciplinary actions, maybe having a reward program, okay? And others of us that may have overcome obstacles in the past, this jack of all trade energy, or these new beginnings that and we were inspired by through our hearts. It's like you went up and down them hills, baby, and rolled down a few of them. And spirit ain't forgot that. So there may be something for you, like I said, because you're going to be rationing out things and be some sort of humanitarian. So I feel like it's going to be some coins involved. Okay. Just be balanced, be multifaceted, and stay curious, Capricorn. And I do hope that helped. Aquarius, welcome to your reading, and thank all of you guys for tuning in for your horoscope overview. All right, this is based on the transits and potentially your natal chart wherever Aquarius falls in your chart, and then we'll get to your tarot and oracle cards, so don't worry. Your body will be highlighted, so whether it's what you putting into it or what you see in the mirror, your health or body may be significant in the month of July. Routines that help or that don't support it will be on the chopping block. So mind, body, and soul may be very significant for you. Because I just feel like, some people in the audience is like, what about love? What about finances? I'm talking about the month of July. So if the most important thing to Aquarius in the month of July is their health, their mind, body, and soul, that's what that is. That means that there's no power struggles in other areas. But let's talk about it. So Aquarius, welcome into your reading. Okay, you want to go? Okay. How not you gonna start with my card, Aquarius? I love this. Okay, this is one of my favorite cards in this deck. You guys have the blue flame, spontaneous awakening, activation, integration time. Now see, the reason why the health and the body is important is because you guys are not just regular human beings. Like, you have a strong connection. I don't care if it's your religious background, your spiritual background, some super galactic cosmic starseed stuff, whatever the case may be. You are, simply put, if you don't believe in any of that, integrating to like a higher frequency, or you want a different lifestyle. It's just something about you requires attention. I won't even say change, maybe maintenance. So it's just like, I want a higher vibration. I want to live longer. I want to manifest a lifestyle or a type of partner. It may be significant, what we put in our body. And it's not just food, when it comes to who you dating, who you're around, what you eat, what you think, because thoughts are in the body and they also produce chemicals. But long story short, when it comes to this energy here, it just talks about heightening your vibration and expanding like your aura and your light body and all that kind of stuff. So I can see why the physical body may be important. It could also be some changes. If you're going through some sort of spiritual activation, it's not all just in your head. You may start noticing different things like about your actual self. Okay. And that can be crazy, I'm sure. Now, see what I'm saying? It says called Soul Gifts and Training. It's time to step up. So it's like, ooh, this is like, oh my gosh, I almost feel attacked. I got Aquarius in my chart. It just seems for those of you that may have higher purposes, and I just keep saying that I don't care if you want to be an activist or a guru, a shaman, you want a holistic practice, you want your household to look a certain way, you want this particular person to marry, whatever the case may be. It's like, that is for you. Now you have to also step into it. Like, gurus don't do certain things. They don't think certain things. They don't eat certain things. They don't behave a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Shamans don't either. And if you say, oh, don't judge, that's not my job. But I'm still being real. So if you're a guru struggling with all that, excuse me, that's not funny. Then maybe you're not a guru. You're a student, and that's respectable. Like, don't feel no kind of way about that. Don't stop saying you're a guru and you struggling with worldly issues and desires and obsessions and stuff like that. You just like us. It's okay. You have new earth as well. It's happening. So keep holding your vision. That is super dope. Like, a lot of you may be changing. Like, your vibration may already be increasing. Your thoughts may already have improved. Some people think the worst about the world and the people in it, and it's just like, oh my God, why did I incarnate here? But I feel like a lot of you have a different perspective. You want to see things differently, even if it's not in everyone else. Like, if you can just manifest it for yourself, your family members, or those in your environment, I feel like you have optimism about that. And I love that for you, because some people don't find the light at the end of the tunnel and don't have anything to dream, hope, or wish about, Aquarius. And I feel like you do. And Spirit is saying that you don't have to worry. You know, this new earth that you read about or that you're envisioning, this new life, you know, this other dimension, right? Because they always talk about Earth 1 and Earth 2, and it's not a physical place. It's more so like a mindset. Some people that vibrate at a certain frequency may have certain experiences. And then other people that vibrated, you know, at a certain frequency, they're going to have different experiences. And that's how you have a new earth. So you're being called, okay, to focus your energy, Aquarius, on the earth that you want to experience. Okay, and that's a beautiful message. And look, it says literally earthed, okay, because you came here in a protective bubble. You've always been protected. And I think your challenges may have been in learning how to be human in the world, but not of it. And if you can admit and say, well, I got in it a little bit, Spirit pulls up, right, and say, I'm just going to dust you off a little bit. So I'm going to call your name, because I ain't just going to pop up on you. It's going to scare you, right? You're going to have to come to me in meditation, and y'all be calling on the Lord and all y'all archangels and ascended masters, and they just coming up in this reading to say, don't be spooked, because I'm going to pull up and dust you off a little bit from whatever got in your bubble. Okay, but that's super cool and super sweet. Let's pull some more cards for you, Aquarius, now. That is crazy. I guess all of you, well, some of the signs had similar messages, but Aquarius, that is very unique to you. That message is very unique. All right, what do we have for Aquarius? We have the Nightingale. All right, so anything that irritates you or bothers you is going to lead you to Spirit. Even if it's me. Spirit, am I irritating them? I was going to say, come on. I'm like more Aquarius than you, person listening to me. I can also have some singers and stuff like that. So it's like, oh, when did I read that? That like apple juice helps with, is it, don't give me the line. It's some normal stuff that normal people drink that mess up singers' throats. So it could be specific for your career path, your life purpose, or your whatever you're here for. But the Nightingale calls out, okay? And look, it says called. Who is calling? Your inner self is calling out. Like, hey, stop feeding me that stuff, or stop doing I'm gonna get off of it. And I'm just gonna pull the cards. I'm sorry, y'all. I just really like your energy, and I like your message. So this is either luck or fear. I feel it. Now, are you a little skeptical about stepping out and going through this door? And I feel like you're lucky. Like, and never in your life have you ever fell flat on your face. 100%, Spirit said. So, see? But there's some confusion on which direction to take. Look how, and then my nails look. Okay. There may be some confusion on which direction to take, and there is help available if you want it. It's within, but it's like you have to make the choice. And it's like I'm trying to reach out and communicate to you and help you. So don't be scared, okay? We have the moon, the new earth, the moon. It talks about a mystery. All right. The moon also talks about our subconscious mind and our intuition. It also talks about Neptune. Now, we want to make sure that with the Neptune retrograde that's happening in July, that those in our environment as well as ourselves stay practical and grounded and realistic, because Neptune will have us in the dreamy world of dreams. And some of you could have had very, very big dreams. And it's like spirit says you're being called to do this, but you have super big dreams to do that. And there may be a situation within this month where they are duking it out. All right, that's all I can say. And sometimes it happens with relationships when you say, dang, why can't I catch a break? I've been single for forever, but it's like, are you attracting the people that go with where you going? Or, you know what I mean? And if you say, well, why can't I attract those people that are going where I'm going? It's like, okay, is your energy clear of where you came from? I mean, those are just questions. I don't know. Don't listen to me. See? And then it's like soul gifts and training. This is very specific to some of you that could be singers and artists or have like this, what do they call them? Siren kind of things. You may have a gift to give people like that. I think that's kind of cool. I don't know how spirit feel about it. But the octopus is like directionless. So it's like if we anticipated a specific relationship or career, I feel like July, it could amplify itself. And don't let that drive, bust through your house or, hit you with like a ton of bricks. Because I don't see like delusion or being naive or nothing like that. It's just like directionless when it comes to our calling, our gifts. And that's normal. Because it might not even be directionless. It's just like, I don't know how to use it or which one it is or who's supposed to teach me, yada, yada, yada. And spirit is like, well, here's an invitation. Okay, all those little things that may have been there to inspire you or to get you curious, but actually irritated you, right? Because they didn't work out or you were passionate about them and, things. It's like all of those things are little bitty clues and little bitty hints about something. And I ain't gonna get into details because spirit is like put it in my mind. I was like, I've talked enough noise for the night. I won't go into depth, but I will say it's like, no, spirit said it, spit it out. All right. Well, it's just kind of like, if nothing else, a lot of experiences should have helped us get personal growth to actually become whatever our magnificence is by forcing us to be brutally honest in the most sensitive areas of our life. And that may be hard to do while Neptune is in retrograde. So good luck there, with reality and long time dreams and gifts that we may not feel nowhere close to, but at the same time realizing that you actually do have gifts and you're still a star, just maybe not like how you thought. Okay. So the Chariot here is saying she's right, but at the same time focus on the light and the shadow working together. You don't have to be as perfect as she's saying, like, oh, do all the shadow work and be brutally honest with yourself in all areas. Like you don't have no insecurities or discomforts, right? Be perfect, because it's possible. I know they say no one's perfect. Yeah. Okay. It's possible. How do you think we get ascended masters? That they go through lessons and then they get a whole bunch of checks. And then I think when you get checks and then you don't get X's, you advance. That is perfection. So it is possible. That's all I want to say. I'm not saying that you have the life path to do that. But Aquarius, the Chariot is a green light. The green light says happening. Keep holding your vision. What's holding you? What is the vision that you're holding? This dream. Okay. So now I'm not talking to the people that get intimidated or know well and good that they ain't, doing something and then they insecure about it. They're going to get mad about it. But knowing it's true, that's toxic stuff. We don't have time for that. But others of you that are past those things, Spirit is saying with the shadow that you have seen through the experiences and the better aspects of yourself, as well as spirit support, you are being called and possibly to choose a direction to move forward and take action and like be tunnel vision with it. Okay. Be tunnel vision. Boom. All right. Maybe distracted by some things and then agitated. I know that. See, I knew it was some agitation. It's right here. It's like you are an initiant of what? A higher calling. And because of that, other things might not work for you like they work for everybody else. So being defensive, naive, distracted, and easily influenced by things that sparkle, it's like you're way bigger than that. That is what I have, Aquarius. I hope you still love me. I love you too. Until next time. Pisces, welcome to your reading. I'd like to start off with your horoscope advice for July 2025. Well, it's not really advice. It's just what you can potentially expect wherever Pisces may fall in your chart due to all of the transits. If you hadn't heard the transits, the horoscope overview, you can literally click on the timestamp. It's really quick and it runs through the planetary information for anybody on Earth. So if you say, well, where's the Pisces part? There's no Pisces part. We're just running over real quick transits that are going to affect us all in some kind of way for the month of July. But according to that, in addition to possibly having Sun, Moon, Venus, rising Pisces, it is talked about amplified creativity. And I'll say, Pisces, I have done 11, well, plus 4 pick cards. So 15 readings, including the horoscope, 16 readings, I think, before I got to you. And I will say having amplified creativity is one of the better gifts that you're receiving from these transits. I think that is super dope. And it also talks about you having enormous sensations to take action. And see, I know Pisces because I have Pisces in my chart, and we love that and we need that. So you, Pisces, may not be as affected by the woes and the ups and downs as everybody else, and may finally be taking action in areas that could have been stagnant in the past. Super dope. And that's good news for Pisces. Not to say that it's like, oh, it's bad news Pisces channel. It's just like, that is all good information. And like, if you're a Pisces, you know that it may not always be usually all good information. It'd be like some coddling and a little bit of inspiration mixed with people trying to protect our feelings. And it's like, no, you got good news, Pisces, and that's dope. So what do we have for my Pisces? All right. We have the Emperor. So some of you, let me let you see it. But I think you can see, okay. It may be Aries, but it definitely talks about structure and stability. So for some of you, use this amplified creative energy and these enormous sensations to take action, to have some sort of structure, order, and resolve in life. I was thinking about doing a vision board. Now, I am of age. I'll say that. I'm a millennial. And I have a lot of friends that are very successful. We have matched successes, don't get me wrong. And some of them have exceeded my level of success. The long story short, they into the vision boards and stuff like that. It ain't ever been my thing. It's like I keep things in my mind and my heart, and I guess because we're Pisces, but I have been like having this notion to like get a vision board, or for my son to have some, I don't know, more rules or some times that I ain't got to sit and repeat every day, to put him a little schedule on his wall. Now, a lot of you may say, we already do that. And I would say, well, you're probably not a Pisces. Or maybe you are and have like strong Capricorn, I don't know, or Saturn placements, or even Gemini. Long story short, the Emperor represents that, like the plan, the structure, the boss, authority, your personal power, just things that Pisces, aren't normally just full-fledged gifts for a whole month long. It says you could be experiencing that energy. Spirit is like, take advantage of it, okay? It can also represent a father figure, a husband, or an authority figure in your life. It's like, boom, that's what we started your reading with. That may be the pinpoint of the month. And the 3 of Cups. Okay, so not an Empress. I got 3. Okay, so he don't got 2 phones. He got 3 phones, and we see why. All right, so I feel that past issues, priorities, existing things is what we are getting in order. I feel like our authority and the boss energy is going to be productive for our present and our future, because it's like going around the house organizing things, even though it's like in a very Emperor kind of way. He's facing the past. The present situation for some of you, it does talk about a celebration and socializing. And so some of you guys, there may be some gossip and or socializing with an Aries being involved. Okay. There are multiple women involved. So I'm not just talking about a relationship like, oh, he cheated on me. You don't, if that man ain't left the house in 27 days, baby, this part of the reading ain't about him. Okay. But there could be that for some of you. I like a celebration though. It's like you get everything in order. You crossing your T's, dotting your I's. You the biggest boss. Boom. And then there's a celebration or some sort of party or something like that. Now, here we have the Knight of Pentacles. And so the Knight of Pentacles and the Emperor is kind of like facing off, which leads to this celebration, which I do like. The Knight of Pentacles is the energy sometimes that it takes to sustain the structure, the stability, the business, the career, the family life. It's like we get that the Emperor has that already. But what energy may have been most favorable to help him get it? And it was not quitting, not giving up. It was being committed, staying practical, being grounded, not balling out and flashing or being temperamental or, situational. All right. Which means that if you want to be married, I don't know if this is the person, because they can offer you some sort of commitment. Like you can have a long-term relationship and this man married. I was going to say as a doorknob, just making up stuff. That's what happens when you're from the South. Just craziness. Yeah. So if it's a relationship situation, yeah, I don't know about that. Okay. It might be some things that this person says that we need to make peace with isn't the truth, because we all feeling creative and we got this amplified energy and we taking action, and they like, yeah. Because they're going to treat you like the one, but it's more than one. And maybe they're okay with that because they look, they well fed and taken care of. Now, for others of you, the Tower could represent, let me see, Uranus. Uranus is also in retrograde. So unexpected changes. And I'm talking about drastic changes. This talks about like an ending with a new beginning. And it also talks about actually getting the life that you always wanted. Like your life literally goes from one way to another way. Okay. There may also be a message like from the other side that there could be some unexpected endings that people are going to be standing around gossiping about. And I just feel like there's an earth sign or a fire sign involved. Could even be a water sign. And it could be you, Pisces. It's like this is what we gossiping about because something happens. And I don't know why they got Pisces' name in it. So there's that. Because Spirit already said, they're going to be on some other stuff. And then all of a sudden somebody else's Tower moment, y'all bringing me up. It's like, don't bring me up. Bring me up for. Okay. So we have the earthworm because they're petty. And when I say, what do you bring me up for? This is like low vibrational. Okay. The earthworm is also like, it's a very grounded energy, but to tell the truth, it's like bottom of the barrel. Cause I literally was shuffling the cards and I said, what are you bringing them up for? And then we have the earthworm, and Spirit for some reason said, don't say it like that. But it's like, that is the earthworm literally represents like, it's the earthworm. Like, child, Google it. I ain't playing. But I guess not to say it like that. Oh, and it was in reverse. So I think that would amplify the fact that, or you don't want to put it there because I was over here. Okay, yeah. All right. Okay. Let's see. It's a lot here, child. Okay. A situation ended possibly with a Scorpio. Maybe the Scorpio came up. There's going to be something unexpected or some sort of outburst, right? Because we are talking about Scorpio here. A transformation or some sort of transition. Emotionally or energetically, you just feel different. Oh, in regard to your creative spark, you could just feel different, like where you had shadow energy or fears, or you were passive aggressive, or just aggravated. There are huge transformations and shifts in your energy and your aura. Okay, maybe some of you guys have been doing some mirror work or just being honest with yourself about what you don't want and what you won't accept. Okay, and literally making arrangements, planning, being grounded, doing what's practical, especially when it comes from work or for work and things that you're repeating It talks about some sort of victory, and victory that came through strength. That strength you weren't born with for some of you guys, and it took courage and bravery and honesty. And also the divine walking with you, which is this dragon that is inside of you that pulled you through the mud when you wanted to lay there for a little bit. And you're going to be feeling that fire. And I absolutely love that for you. Okay, Pisces, and I do hope that it helps.